Wicked, wicked, jungle is massive. Wicked, wicked, wasteland are massive. Wicked, wicked, jungle is massive. Wicked, yo.
Enough of that crap. Right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Claret and Booze. Just me and Mickey tonight. Nick's I think he's had enough. He's done a lot of shows this week. He's done loads. And so and he's WhatsApping me in the background as his show's going on as well, because this Moyes situation seems to be a real fast moving one. Mickey, how are you before we carry on?
Yeah, I can understand where why Nick feels like that. I've done the 2 shows with him. It was hard work. It really was hard work trying to even just be a bit positive or even just stuff to talk about on them. So it's draining. It is draining.
It really is.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Really
I'm all right. Sorry, mate.
No, that's good. That's good. So it's been, I must admit, we were talking last night on the WhatsApp group, and then Hugh Southern posted an article. And Hugh Southern is known, I think Nick mentioned it the other day, he's known for not being really a David Moyes fan, right? And so he's been backwards and forwards, I'm guessing, with Sullivan, right? But he just said the board, right? And it wasn't it didn't read very well. I've got to be honest. It was awful, this article. It was like but it was based on an interaction between him and him and I assume Sullivan. And I don't know why the mouse ain't bloody working, but it ain't. What is going on here?
Have you got it there, or do you want me to get it?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll find it because I want to share it. I want to share it just to make sure. I want to take people through it. And also, we've had a game today where we lost predictably 3-0. I went for 2-0. But, you know, it was pretty obvious that we were going to go there and lose. It was a better performance in the end, in the first half anyway, than I expected. And he even substituted Souček off at the end. So, you know, brilliant. But anyway, we'll talk about that. We will do the player ratings. Nick's not here, but I've got an alternative that looks kind of similar. Right. So we'll go through the player ratings. And then rather than having a phone in later, because Nick's got that technology attached to his machine, what we'll do is we'll talk about a couple of topics. We'll probably circle back to Moyes, to Sullivan, and then get your opinions on that. And then we can have a discussion on it that way. All right, and let's see how we go. So
quickly, hello, I'm Brian, new YouTube member.
Oh, welcome, I'm Brian.
Pew pew pew.
Pleasure,
even they're out there at the moment.
Right, so if you wait there a minute, what I want to do is now this Claret and Hugh article, and I'm not one of these, you know, I don't usually pick anything up off of Claret and Hugh, but it's just that because we know his position on Moyes, when he posts something about Moyes, I tend to read it just to see what's been said, because it's usually almost along our lines, not quite, but it's almost along our lines, right? And I'm just trying to find the article. It's I don't know whether it's been taken down or what, but anyway, look, it was a backwards and forwards article where he said, Hugh Southern said to whoever it was, maybe David Sullivan, he said, "This football's dreadful," and the response was, "We're sixth. We've been in Europe 3 years in a row." It was like repeating that fucking mantra that everyone repeats, including those poxy trolls on Twitter. The reason I'm not on Twitter anymore, basically, because you can't get past that. You can't get past that. As soon as you come up with any criticism, it is sixth in the league, knockout rounds in Europe, 3 years in Europe, best first half in the Premier League ever, and all that. But that is it's kind of a fluffy way of presenting. I've got eyes, right? I've got eyes. I might have glasses, right? But, you know, I go to football. I sit at home and I watch games like today as well, where you get to see a little bit more detail. It don't really get any better. It don't get any better. Today was much better than the other night, I'll say that. But 9 times out of 10, you know, I consider myself the kind of Moyes whisperer, right? I consider myself the Moyes whisperer because I kind of know what he's going to fucking do. And it's really depressing when I keep guessing what he's going to do next and he does it, right? Today, I got the formation wrong because I thought he was going to stick with Phillips and everything he did the other day. So he did surprise me for once. He also surprised me when he took Suchek off at the end. He also surprised me that they were pressing up against Man United. But let's be honest, that Man United team, that is the worst Man United team ever, right? Let's not dress this up and make out they're the mighty Man United. You know, unless you listen to his pre-match thing where he says, oh, it's always tough to go there. No, it wasn't fucking tough to go there. Bournemouth went there and won 3-0 a couple of weeks ago, right? They're not a good team. They were there for the taking. We could see it. My prediction before game was we'd roll over and lose 2-0. In the end, we rolled over and lost 3-0. We put up a little bit of a fight in the first half. It was a better performance in the first half than the second half. Absolutely, for sure. But this was, it's... He will take from today, I'm the Moyes whisperer, he will take from that game today, pressing forward and trying to score a goal didn't work, so we've got to go back to defensive. Right? Yeah. That is what he'll take from it. I've tried that. Now shut up, you lot. We're going back to Moyes ball. That's what he'll take from it, right?
And that's what you can't wait.
And that's why he always reverts. And I mean, Mickey, you remember last year we went to Fulham and we won, and it kind of that turned the season around. We were in the relegation zone, in the relegation battle all season long. We went to Fulham, we got a result because he got the chance to revert to type and put his original boys back in, right?
Yeah, of course, and that's what we're saying. That's where he's doing that again. He's so disheartening. He's so depressing. He's just so. Man, it's hard. It's very hard being a West Ham supporter right now. It really is.
But the way football...
Go on. No, the way I see it. I'm sorry. I mean, I say all this, but the way I see it is for me that we're finally, we're actually. It looks like we're getting the results that our play is like. We're getting the results that he's. Yeah, like he's.
That we're supposed to get. That we're supposed to get.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly. I don't know what the wording I'm trying to look for, but. We got. Well, I think we picked up more points than we should have done with the way we're playing. But now he's coming to fruition. It's what we should be getting. We're getting the points that we should be getting from the play. Yeah. Yeah,
we'll go through our predictions later. I'll drag out the spreadsheet that me and you filled in. I think I've only got my predictions in there. But I was you were really optimistic. I was a little bit optimistic. We're behind already, right? A few games in. It's ridiculous. And, this conversation between Hugh and maybe Sullivan went on, because first of all, we get the patronising response. Oh, look at all this, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you got to get rid of him. You got to get rid of him. The football's terrible. There's no entertainment. And then the response is, oh, well, it's a massive gamble to get rid of him. And then the final line from you was, I think it's a massive gamble to keep him. Well, and I think it is. Mickey. I think it's a massive gamble to keep him because, I mean, I don't know what's happening with Steiten. There was, that rumor was reborn again yesterday, and they started talking about he's almost ready to take over at Liverpool. There were a few reports that said that. One came from Romano, right? Romano is the go-to. How can I say? He's the go-to journo who. Reports everything that Steiten's doing. So if he's reporting about Steiten, it's very likely true, right? Yeah. And at the same time, we're getting, according to Fabrizio Romano today, talks are advanced and the board are happy with Moyes. So now I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry. If the board are happy with Moyes, they're not listening to the fans. So they don't give a fuck what the fans think. They're listening to their mates in the media. David Sullivan is shit scared. Apparently this week, David Moyes has been throwing his fucking toys out of pram because he can see a crash coming. He knows the results are going to turn around and he can't start boasting after every game, oh, we're sitting in 6th. Before you know it, be sitting in 10th, 11th, 12th, right? And then suddenly, if he tries to negotiate a contract then, it ain't going to work out too well for him, is it? Or they might not offer him a contract at all. So he's trying to get it done now. Right. And he's saying to Sullivan, because he's all very aware that, we got Arsenal next. We've got Brentford after. You just look at the fixtures. We're fucking beating Arsenal again next week. Look at the way they're playing. Look what they just done to Liverpool. Right. They're going to come seeking revenge. And we're not playing well. They're going to get it. Right. So unless some, because we've gone past a poor Arsenal, because they were playing poor at the time, and then we beat them in the League Cup. That doesn't mean we're going to beat Arsenal every time. Because we beat Spurs when they had 10 injuries, it doesn't mean we're going to beat Spurs every time. Because we beat Man United when they were shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
To beat Spurs. You could say that with a lot of other teams that we had. We were lucky to beat Spurs. Let's have it right. They absolutely slaughtered us in the first half. We was hanging on. Do you know what I mean? They absolutely slaughtered us. And that's been the case for a lot of games. So you are right. He doesn't care about... We've had this discussion, and I've said this plenty of times, that he doesn't care, like Sullivan don't care about the fan base. He really doesn't. For them, which I can understand, Gail, don't get me wrong. I can understand about it's a results-based business. I get that. But he's such... No, but I'm just saying to you, from that, there's the only person... No, these are the only people, the owners, that I can agree with that on. I can't agree with fans. But what I'm saying is, Moyes has been their most successful manager. And to him... that is the safest pair of hands there, but it's terrible for a West Ham fan. I'm sorry, but it is. You can't be watching this dross week in, week out. It's getting harder and harder. So even if that poll that we were saying about,
which I'm going to mention,
which will segue to that, but even that poll, even if it come up like 90% of them wanted them saying no to that poll, I don't think he really listened to it. I think that. You have to take it to Sullivan himself.
Yeah.
When the fans are on it, then that's when he look at the like people talking about TalkSport and all that today about how the other lot of media and that are saying we should be grateful. There was one, I've got to admit this, people. I missed the first half today because I had a bit of a mouth. But I come in at the last 2 minutes of the first half, and on the stream that I was watching, the bloke said up there, he turned around and said, West Ham fans want to watch more panache from their things. What is the matter with you lot? Moyes has done a fantastic job for you. Like,
for fuck's sake.
That's what he said. It was horrible to listen to. We've heard a lot, but that was quite cutting, that one. Horrible.
When did watching good football, demanding good football, enjoying good football, when did that become something to get embarrassed about? Because that's what they seem to be driving at the moment. You know, you shouldn't be looking at football for entertainment. You should be looking at the fucking results. Well, the thing is, I go to games, right? We sit there, we run a channel. We have to watch every fucking game. If you're not doing that, you'd turn away and you'd look at the result, right? But we do have to look at the detail. And I'll see a lot of the detail firsthand in front of me, live, right? And it ain't pretty. The other night was appalling. Let's not dress this up. How they could even dream of giving that fucker a contract after the other night, I do not know. I haven't got a clue. That was so incompetent what he did there. I mean, it was fucking obvious what he was going to do. He was always going to play Ward-Prowse, Souček, Phillips, and Alvarez in the same team. Because, of course, he was. And in a couple of weeks, when Phillips is a bit fitter, he'll do the same again. You know he will, right? When Phillips stops fucking conceding goals. But yeah, honestly, this is winding me up now to the point. Now, let me just say, from my point of view, and I'm agonising over this, right? Because I love West Ham. I've always loved West Ham, like we all do. I really do love West Ham. It's a big part of my life going to watch West Ham. You know, I go with Ross, my son, see my cousin Paul there. We've always gone to football. You know, and I think what I'm going to do, I made a decision last night. And it's coincidental that there's a poll out today. I made my decision last night that if he gets another contract, and it looks like he's going to, I'm not going to renew. I'm not renewing. And that'll be the first time I haven't renewed since fucking hell, since the old Bobby Moore stand was built. I've had a season ticket every year since then. You know, we've been relegated a few times. You know, there's been ups and downs, right? But this is it for me. This is killing me because I watched that game the other night and I was stood there. It was comical. And I wasn't attached to it emotionally. I suddenly realized I had no emotional attachment to it, right? And then today I'm watching the Man United game. I had no emotional attachment to that whatsoever. Hello, John. How you doing? I had no emotional attachment to that game. It didn't hurt when the goals went in. It usually would hurt, right? I didn't get excited when, you know, we maybe, you know, came close once or twice. It was like I was watching two teams that I didn't support, you know what I mean, playing each other. And that is fucking awful. That is an awful place for me to be, because why do you think we run this channel? We run this channel because we love West Ham. And that little fucking, that little poisoned wolf, that Sullivan, is fucking around with us. Tonight he's told his little minion, Sean, to go and put a fucking Twitter poll up, right? Aimed at season ticket holders. Yeah, Sean, how many fucking season ticket holders have actually responded to that, mate? You got to put your season ticket number in before you do it. It's fucking Mickey Mouse. Every poxy David Moyes troll out there who doesn't go to a game is voting they're going to keep their fucking season ticket. You fucking idiot. It's meaningless. It's meaningless. And that is what that little fucking idiot is going to base his decision to give fucking David Moyes a new contract or not.
That's exactly right, Gal. See, we do love a rant on him. You didn't have Nick, but now we've got Gal. But that's what he's doing to the fans.
I'm angry at the moment, Mickey. I really am.
But that's what he's doing to the fans. Like, it's either going one way or the other. Either people getting mad, or like me, not saying past caring, but you are, someone else said it's like mundane. You are mundane to it. It's so bad. Like, it's so bad. And how this club is going, it's depressing. It's depressing as shit. So you kind of, I don't know how we get out of this funk. Well, I do actually. Get rid of Moyes. Get rid of Moyes and let Sullivan go. But I don't. It's bad. It's bad at the moment at West Ham. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy anything about it right now.
I'm sorry, right? This has been my life, West Ham. It always has been. It's always been there. It's always been a constant in my life, right? And lots of things, lots of ups and downs, lots of difficulties and everything. West Ham's always been a constant. I've always had it, right? I ain't going to react fucking nicely if someone takes it away. And I feel like the emotional link's gone, right? That's the first thing. And then what's the point after that? If you're not invested emotionally, what's the fucking point? Right?
Yeah.
So stop fucking around with your fan base, you fucking little idiot, right? Stop asking Sean to go and put a poll up and see how many season ticket holders are going to renew. How fucking insulting is that? We know it's coming from you. Why don't you ask the season ticket holders? You've got a database of season ticket holders. Go and ask them directly, you little fucking twat.
Yeah, exactly what you said, though. The reason why is because there is...
Sorry for the language, everyone.
No, I think everyone's fully understand it. Do you know what I mean? They're proper agreeing with you and that, and they decide not to. But that's the reason why he's not asking a lot of them, because he knows that a lot of the Twitter people, a lot of Moyes in, because they're like little trolls.
Yeah.
So they're going to get like what you've just said there, Gal. They're going to get that. They're going to get them sort of non-passionate West Ham fans voting to say, yes, they're gonna. So to him, he could say, like, when he does, and he will, I genuinely think he'll give Moyes a new contract. He can sit there and say, well, look at the poll.
I think he will. I think he will.
He can sit there and say, look at the poll. Do you know what I mean? There's more people that want it.
Will.
In all honesty, at the moment, I think the last time the poll was at 52 for yes, 48 for no. But even that is damaging. We'd like a lot more no's in that, but after the fan base, it's still damaging. And he's got to take note of that. He's got to take note of that.
But how many of them are season tickets? How many of them are season tickets?
But that's why it's on. That's why it's on Twitter. That's exactly why it's
Twitter.
There's no way Sullivan, and he shouldn't be having to do this anyway. But there's no way Sullivan is going to say, right, let's send letters out or something to season ticket holders, because they're not going to do that, because he can't be seen to attaching his name to this.
No, he can't. So
that's why he's doing it like this. Yeah. But what he should be doing, instead of asking fans, he's got his own fucking eyes. He can see what's happening. He should just go, nah, that's it. Cut it off now. Do you know what I mean? Do what needs to be done. And it's needed to be done for a long fucking time.
Yeah. Honestly, I despise David Moyes and the way he's getting his club, the way he treats players, the way he treats kids. I was writing out my, a list of, I was trying to put together episode 3 of the Moyes out thing yesterday, right? And I was trying to put together a sort of narrative that I was going to use for episode 3. And I started writing a list of stuff, of areas where he's just no good and he winds me up, right? It went on for about 6 pages. This thing just went on and on and on. And I hadn't run out. I could go on. I despise this manager, what he's doing to this club and what he's done to this fan base, the way he's divided this fan base. He's brought in this standard of football. See, this is what Sam Allardyce didn't have the fucking intelligence to do. If he could have done it, he would have done it, right? Sam Allardyce would have divided the fans, but we were unified against Sam Allardyce and he's fucking wanky football. The thing is now, we've got a couple of bits of sugar drizzled in with Paqueta, with Kudus and people like that, right? They ain't his players. He don't even want them. Do you think if he had an option, you think he'd play Paqueta or Kudus? Might play Paqueta because he might nick him a goal. But look at the other night. He actually looks at them. You know, he's come back from the AFCON. Kudos. After that game the other night, he said nothing about Souček, he's number 10. He said nothing about Bowen, his striker. But he dug out Kudos because he didn't come alive until later on. When he won in the penalty that got him back into the game, right? He had to dig out Kudos because Kudos, that is what he's there for, to dig him out of a hole. And that is why Paqueta's there as well. Right, but do you think he actually likes playing 3 attacking players like that? I mean, he doesn't.
Well, of course he doesn't. You only got to look at the how many like central defensive midfielders we've got. And let me just quickly say one thing, because there's a few people on here. I know that a few of them said, "Well, hold on, we played well in the first half of that game," and that. I'm not saying we didn't. Like,
today we're not even talking about the game at the moment. I'm talking about Moyes in general.
I know that, but just want to clarify because a lot of people were saying that, but it was more to do with their setup than ours. Let's be fair.
Well, what he did in the first half was he put Kudus on the left and he put Johnson on the right, and Ward-Prowse in the middle, Bowen up front. He had Alvarez and Souček in behind. Alvarez, I thought, you know, I mean, we didn't come to who's the man of the match, but Alvarez was he was a monster today.
Yeah, he was
doing the Declan Rice thing of carrying the ball forward the whole game, as well as getting back and tackling. I mean, you see the way he sprinted back to try and get back in the second half as well. And I think when you look at what happened in the first half, it was actually all right. Yeah, it was all right.
No, that's what I got told. That's what I got told. But sorry, but going back to that point I was trying to make, that we know we don't like the fair players, but a lot of now is on the shoulders of someone like Kudus. Yeah, because there's no Paqueta, and it's worrying. It's actually really worrying. Or it's actually it's clear as day now that without having someone like Paqueta who just does what he wants, he takes the game by the scruff of the neck, and he does do these passes and he dictates our play for us, whether Moyes likes it or not. We're in trouble if it's all that, because that was our strongest side today, bar Paqueta. And that's how we played. And people can say, like, "Oh, we done well in the first half." Wasn't good enough. That's how they wanted us to play, and we sort of fell in that trap. They had us right where they wanted us, and that's how it is. And I'm sorry, but it says it all when we need different positions more, but he still goes out and gets
a CDM. He gets a CDM.
Phillips. And for me, the more I think about it, it was a worse sign than I thought. Not saying Phillips is a bad player or worse player. I'm not saying that at all. But he's got a player in a January window who has not played properly for 18 months. He's got to get up to speed. And the thing is,
looks like it as well. Yeah.
He'll be up, of course he does. He'll be up to speed in about 3-4 months' time when he goes, and he goes.
It'd be nice and fit by the time we fucking send him back to Man City. They'll get a good price for him, won't they? I mean, it's as if Moyes is part of that deal.
Everything about the season right now and at the moment is a shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yardy, let me tell you, right? What's the rush to ink this contract? It's coming from Moyes. Moyes is basically saying to Sullivan, right? He's saying, I will walk unless you offer me a new contract. Now, to me, that's not a threat, right? That's fucking walk then. That's brilliant, right? But the context in which he will walk, it will be, right, he knows, we all know there's a dip coming, right? Maybe a crash, but there's definite dip coming. He knows Paqueta's not back for 4 to 6 weeks. A guy that might get him out of trouble a little bit, right? So he's saying to David Moyes, to David Sullivan, he's saying this dip is going to come. If I walk, basically you're going to be blamed for not supporting me, and the dip will be on you. And then Sullivan's like, "Oh, new contract, must get him a new contract. David, come and sign a new contract." That's what's happened. And he's been really fucking throwing his toys out of pram, which is why when we got stuffed, we did get stuffed by Bournemouth the other night. We got beaten 1-1 by Bournemouth the other night, right? They should have had about 5, right? Let's not kid ourselves. That is why the morning after we see the article saying, or was it the previous game? I can't remember. We saw the article saying, "Oh, we're in advanced stages of contract." That was put out there by Moyes because he knows it's got to be done now because that little window of opportunity he's got, where people still look at him, a lot of fans as well, still look at him and think he's brilliant, right? It's not a very big window, right? There was rumours that he was going to sign him on a 1-year rolling contract. What's the point in that? Listen, if he signs it for 6 months, I'm not renewing.
Because he's like he's trying to appease him.
Stain on West Ham.
He's like he's trying to bend over backwards to appease Moyes, but not the fan base. Do you get what I'm saying to you?
Well, look,
50-50. Say it was 50-50 that Moyes and outers. That's enough to say Moyes is not good enough to be here. We shouldn't be 50-50. It shouldn't be split like that. Do you know what I mean? You're always gonna have fans that ain't gonna like any manager. You're always gonna get that. But not this man. And how he's divided the fan base is fucking mental.
Clearly, he wants to. He doesn't care about the fans whatsoever. We're replaceable, right? We're replaceable. We go. They don't even know how long we've had our season tickets for. They kind of been counting since we were in the new stadium, which they fucking conned us into moving into. I mean, they've done everything. They took part of our fan base away by moving to that stadium. And let's face it, I agreed to move to that stadium because I bought the fucking sales patter, right? And a lot of people did. I shouldn't have done. I should have been more grown up than that. Not that my rejecting it would have made any fucking difference because it was so. I remember that survey they made us take. It was so spun. It was such a spun survey. There was no way that you were going to get any other result other than support out of it. The only one I think I've heard is Nigel, who filled it in with his eyes wide open, right? And that's the way we all should have looked at it, to be honest. It's just a pity we weren't all talking on social media like we are today. You know, imagine if we're trying to move stadium now, for instance. That would be a whole different experience with all these fan channels, right? It really would. And social media and everything else, right? Back then, there was social media, but we weren't talking as a fan group. Not at all. We were not joined up as a group of fans. We would be this time. We would be. And he couldn't pull that stroke twice. So they did it at the right time, but they've taken our home. They sold it for peanuts. I don't believe they sold it for peanuts. Someone got rich out of that. Oh, someone's getting rich out of the housing development that went on top of it, right? It seems funny that, you moved us in here. It seems funny that, Sullivan can't keep his hands out the pie when it comes to transfer dealing. It seems he's got his old friends, Will Salthouse and everything, whispering in his ear, undermining Tim Stighton's picks. Who the fuck are they, right? Look at his record. Look at their record, right? And is it something to do with him using his preferred agents? I'm not going to say it, but you know what I mean? It's pretty bloody obvious, right? I don't take a salary. No, you might not take a salary, mate, but you got other ways, mate, haven't you?
That's lovely. Yeah. You don't take a salary. Fair play to
them. Thanks, JKL. You know what? I think Johnny's absolutely right. John Osborne, John, you must come on here again soon, for Christ's sake, right? We've got to turn our focus onto David Sullivan. We've got to focus on the root cause, not the symptom. Right? Moyes is just a symptom, as was Allardyce and every other manager we've had, Avram Grant, they were the symptom. Look at the shit we've been forced to watch, right? Several years of Sam Allardyce. He should have been used to get us promoted and then, kindly pushed aside. But they've got different values to us. Their values are based on it's a results-based business.
Yeah, that's right. And that's right. Fans, like Brad here says, I think a process on the car won't happen. It won't happen because there's too many Moyes in people, if you like, and there's Sullivan, as we just said, and Gary's just said there, that he's too successful for them. Like, in a results-based business, he is. I hate that. I fucking hate that. That's the fact. But it is. That is just the fact. It's boring, shit, depressing football. But in Sullivan's eyes, he's the safe manager who's doing all right as a result.
And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. This is like David Sullivan running a little porno shop selling dildos, and he's got an old till there's fucking like the one out of Open All Hours, is springing out and hitting people, but he still does a job. So I'm going to keep that old till. I ain't going to fucking upgrade it. Right? This is what, divide and conquer has been achieved, and it is. And David Moyes, it's like Agent Moyes, is the perfect person to have executed that divide and conquer, because he's done it at every other club he's been at. Maybe not so much at Everton, but there was still a vocal 20-30% at Everton didn't fucking like him towards the end, right? When you're looking at, Man United, there are still people that stick up for Moyes. He was appalling. I don't know whether it's based on some sort of Christian mafia or something like that, because we know he's God Squad, and there's nothing against people who's God Squad, by the way. I was raised Catholic, but I don't go. I'm not a churchgoer or anything like that. Nothing that that's your business. But if that creeps into football, into the workplace, that's where I disagree with it, right?
But again, that shouldn't be a factor in this sort of environment. That's not something that should be. No, it shouldn't be. That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be into that factor. But I'm at a loss with it. I really am at a loss with it, Gal. Like, said, you've now got the anger building up and letting it release, and that's what it's for. And that's a good thing. But for me, it's so. I'm kind of drained of it. I really am kind of drained of it. It's just I've been moist to the fact that it's been so boring. And the whole lot has been building up to it, to the fact that it's just not a pleasure to be a West Ham fan. And don't get me wrong, people, I'll always be West Ham, see me blood. But hopefully you get what I'm trying to say here. It's not a pleasure. It's not an excitement thing to be a West Ham fan like how it used to be. Yeah. And we've won, like everyone can say we've won a cup. We have won a cup. Lovely. Cool. That was a fantastic day. Wouldn't want to change it. But after that, it should have been all up and so exciting, up in the air and everything, but it isn't. It isn't. It's depressing. It's fucking depressing.
It really is. It really is. And look, nothing's going to change until Sullivan exits. You've only got to look at the managers he's put in charge for his tenure here to know that what we want, and I'm talking by we, I mean half or more of the West Ham fans who have been brought up on, the fans that were at Upton Park. It ain't all the youngsters, right? Because my son loves beautiful football as well, right? Why does anyone dislike beautiful football? Why do people look at that as an unnecessary? The only thing I can think of is they don't go. All they do is watch it out the corner of their eye and get on Twitter when they know the result, and start boasting about it. Well, it's never been like that for me. It's been about it's a big lifetime investment, West Ham, for me. From when I was God knows what age, and my dad and my cousin and Nick and everybody else, and my sister even, right? It's been a lifetime investment. And to have that taken away is just sickening. And Moyes is absolutely responsible for that. But the cause is David Sullivan. The underlying root cause is David Sullivan.
He is, and I get it. Like I said, I fully understand it. And Sullivan annoys the shit out of me. There's so many reasons to hate him. And one of them is that he's carried on employing or kept Moyes in employment. I get that. Yeah. But I've got to not say try and look at it or play devil's advocate. It is because, again, he's their most successful manager. I think he's worried that if without him we could get relegated. But let's have it right. We nearly got relegated with him last season.
We did.
So I can't understand his thinking, his mindset. Why wouldn't you want to take a fucking gamble? Do you know what I mean? You've got the director of football who's so good at identifying smart, intelligent football people. Do you know what I mean? So take advantage of that and let's have a gamble on a manager who could possibly do it. Just look at what Bournemouth done. People were sort of calling it slaughtering Bournemouth because they got rid of Gary O'Neill because they wanted to go in a different direction. At the start of the season, they were laughable, but they stuck with him and they played good football, Bournemouth. Do you know what I mean? But that's just one example. You could talk about the Brighton model, Aston Villa. Everyone's got progressive managers and that. And as I said before, you could say that we're higher than a lot of them in the league, but it's a false position.
Yeah, no, it is.
We are now getting the results that we are deserving of the play that we are playing. That's exactly what it is. So there's no surprise. It's just demoralising right now.
It totally is. But the way they back him, and they're totally blind to the views of a huge number of fans. If you ran any other business other than football, because football, us fans are mugs, we tend to keep coming back, right? Now, as we saw with the ones who were vocal and kind of could not make the transition across to the London Stadium, they've never come back, right? They've managed to cut their tires and do something else on a Saturday or whatever, right? I don't know. I'm gonna have to find something else to do. I don't know what it is. Listen, I will always watch West Ham. I will always, I'll even be there in the hope that that he goes, sells up and pisses off, right? Gets out of our fucking club. He ain't a hero for saving us. Someone else would have bloody come along, right? So that was the song they used to sing. Now they sing the song about, oh, they've taken us into a great big fucking world-class stadium. Well, it ain't world-class, is it, either? There's no intimacy. There's no, unless everyone in the ground is singing, there's no atmosphere, right? You can hear a pin drop in there. You can hear the players talking to each other. It's not a good place. It ain't a good football venue. But that's just the fans. The fans are just like, we are the baubles, right? The baubles, like on a Christmas tree. It looks better with us there. To have a full-up stadium, it looks better on telly. As to our experience when we're in the ground and watching it, fuck you. I don't care, right? And I don't care how long you've been, how long you've been watching West Ham, how much you spent over the years, whether you've followed us home and away. Don't care. Don't care. If you dare not renew your season ticket, what about that voice message that Nick received yesterday? Look up the guy's name.
Really good.
What was his name?
Hold on.
Have a look. But it was a really long voice note from one of the guys. Micky, you'll find it in a minute, right? I listened to it this morning, and that really depressed me for the start, right? This guy's had a season ticket for several years. I think about 2008 or something like that. And this season, he's in a position where he's had a young baby. That's part of the reason. The other part of the reason is he just can't stand watching the football. And so he ain't been able to bring himself. And I've been like this several times and I've forced myself to go. But, I know how he feels, right? I've not gone along. He's not gone along to the games. And so he's not, he's not, no, we're not going to play Nick, don't worry. He's not gone along to many games. And so he had a call from the club out of the blue to say, why are you not going to games? You know that we can take your season ticket away if you don't go to games. It's like, what?
I can't find it anywhere. I can't find it.
Yeah. No, but anyway, you are if you're watching.
Yeah, that's right. But I don't think, he's just saying stuff that a lot of other people exactly feel. Like everyone's feeling that way.
What they want ideally, their best business model is, number one, to get 50,000 season ticket holders to shell up in the summer, to pay up in the summer, right? So they've got basically all those seats paid for at a minimum. And then they want us to go to the club and advertise the tickets on Ticket Exchange, whether they get sold or not. And then they want to make a huge markup on those tickets, right? So they don't really want to. They'll probably, they've started ramping down the number of season ticket holders because they want more day trippers, and they're getting more day trippers, right? There's all sorts of people, in the upper tier. The other night, there was a mate of mine who's a Forest fan who was working in London, and he just decided, he's a season ticket holder of Forest. He decided, because I've been having conversations with him on WhatsApp about how shit it is, and he's been telling me, you're sick, you're Europe, blah blah blah, right? He came along, and early in the second half, he sent me a WhatsApp, and he said, "This is dross." I said, "Yeah, I know. I've been trying to tell you." He said, "I believe you now. I believe you now." Because he sat through probably the worst performance of the season, bar none, right? It was woeful. But we've seen lots of equivalent performances.
That's what the usual said. They want customers, not supporters. Exactly right. Exactly right.
But that's what I'm saying. He's a Forest supporter. He can just go to website, get a ticket, probably paid over the odds for it, right? And You know, that thing about the other week about the guy who, to prove you're a West Ham supporter, he went onto the website and all you had to do was picture yourself in a West Ham shirt or a West Ham pair of socks or something, and that's it. You must be a West Ham supporter. And then we just sell your tickets, right? So they want like 10,000, 15,000 of those that they can sell every game, because they will sell them every game. Even if they have to do kids for £1, they get loads of merchandise. I get it. I get that business model. But they don't really want to lose another 20,000 season ticket holders, because that puts them into the realm of uncertainty, because they haven't got the upfront payment from everyone in the summer, right? But in many cases, because they're bored of shitless, we're going to kind of put our tickets on Ticket Exchange anyway. Something I've never done, not even when I don't not go very often, but you know, I've never ever used Ticket Exchange. Sorry, who was that? 9.99.
I'll put these up. Sorry, this is the first one.
All right, cheers, Hodgie.
Pew pew pew. How comes Kudus waited for months to play when Moyes said he's not ready? Yet Philip gets on and he hasn't played for 2 fucking years. Exactly what I was saying the other day. It doesn't make any sense to me, or it does because he's a Moyes player. So Moyes has been chasing him for the last 2 years. So the minute he's got him, he's gone on. That's why I said it was a bad signing. He's not a bad player, but a bad signing to make in a January transfer window. Not everyone's a Lingard. How many times has anyone bought or loaned a player and he's worked out exactly like a Lingard situation? He's like an anomaly, or I can't say the word.
An anomaly, but he was an anomaly, and I'll tell you why. Right, when Lingard arrived, we had a relatively young team, you know, inexperienced. You know, we've been in relegation threatened. And now we're in COVID. We're just coming back. Everyone's having a good time. You add Lingard into the mix, who was desperate to play for England in the summer. He had to get in the England squad. He had something to play for. Lingard was 100% fit when we got him. Not like he is now. He was training with Man United, keeping himself very fit, if you remember. So he came in. Everyone, all the other players going, wow, we've got a Man United player. You know, we've got Lingard. He's an FA Cup. He scored the FA Cup winning goal and stuff like that, right? He's come in. So he was a big name at the time in amongst the group of players we had. Come in, Moyes, he was like his little pet, played every single game no matter what, but he did well, so why not, right? That's fine. Didn't disagree with that at all. This is so completely different. You know, this is you know,
Philip, although like you could say the same argument, people could say, well, he wants to play his way into England. He didn't have to. He wasn't playing for 18 months and he was still getting picked for England. He didn't have that same desire. He hasn't got that same desire. But like I said, I'm not trying to slaughter Phillips, because he's a good player and he will come back eventually. But the problem is, it was a bad signing to make for January. Here's the next one. Thanks, Glenn.
Cheers, Glenn. Appreciate it, mate.
That's lovely.
Going back to that kudos. You remember the kudos thing? The other day, I was looking at that, actually. I was looking back at some of our past videos, the rants that we went on. Not that we do that very often, right? Especially Nick, but it was about, but we were saying, fucking put kudos in the team. Put kudos in the team. He's not Premier League fit yet. That's what he was. He's not Premier League fit, right? He just scored a hat trick in the Champions League, right?
The week before he scored a hat trick, and he was all like, "Nah, he ain't ready yet." But fuck you, hell.
It was literally Mickey. It was like 8 games where he was getting 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. He was getting played in the shitty rounds of the Europa, wasn't he? And against Bakker, what they called, and everything else, and in the end, what he did was he started him in the game. Really surprised me. I was on the way to the game and found out. And he put in, even though I think we lost, it might have been Everton. It was Everton. And we lost that game. But he put in a really good performance. It was a strong performance. Shortly after that, Antonio got injured. And he ain't come back since. It does make me wonder if Antonio had not got injured, if he would have persisted with Kudus. I mean, Kudus just delivered. When he scored that goal against Newcastle, we were going to lose that game, right? He's put him on 20 minutes, someone passing the ball, bang, 2-2, right? We get a point out of it, a point that in that second half we did deserve. We did deserve it. But he got us out of jail. The following, we're thinking like, oh, at last he's going to start a game. The following week away to Villa, where we got rumped,
I agree.
He dropped Kudus again. He dropped him. And it was only the game after that he started him.
Yeah, but that's what I said when he done that. I think he was that front three of Paqueta, Kudus, and Bowen. He stumbled upon it. He had no other opportunity, so he got lucky in that sense.
Of course he did.
You're right. Add Antonio not got injured, we wouldn't have seen that, and it would have been a big worry of where things were going. So he stumbled on that, and they've helped us out massively, or helped him out massively, shall we say? But I do agree with that. I said in the chat earlier on, is it too? When he come on, I said, is it too late to bring Souček back on for Phillips? I thought he was.
It was a strange old game. I mean, let's talk about the game today, shall we? We've been going 48 minutes already. Sorry for all the language and everything and whatever, people.
Anyway, let's for the language because that's what you're all fucking tuned in for.
I'll usually leave that to Nick, though, right? I usually leave it to Nick, but he's not here, so you know.
Yeah, but you've had like an epic rant and people loved it. It threw me off. I wasn't expecting it, Gal. I was all like, oh shit, what do I say now?
No, honestly, I'm you know, it ain't even about the game today. I am just really angry that this is going forward. Really angry because I never believed it would go forward. And this is, for me, the straw that breaks the camel's back. Right, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's why I'm angry. I don't want to give up my favorite won't call it a pastime. It's more of a sort of love, you know, a passion, West Ham. Anyway,
unfortunately, I was working. That's what we've got to do. But it'll be short and sweet, I think, or talking about it, and then we'll crack on with the.
Let's talk about the game. Right, the game was. I mean, we lined up with back four of Emerson, Aguerd, Zuma, and Soufal. We in midfield two, we had Alvarez and Souček. We had a three of Johnson on the right, Kudus on the left, Ward-Prowse in the middle, Bowen up top. I think in the first half, because you didn't see the first half, but I think we had a really good first 10 to 12 minutes. We were playing a really high line. We were pushing them back. Man United looked quite vulnerable, in my opinion. I think Kudus was standing up their fullback, their right back. And this right back really didn't want to dive into him. He knew he'd go round him if he did, right? And so I thought that's got, there's potential for some success there. I mean, other people have seen it different and said he was shut down in the first half. I mean, I didn't see that. I saw fear in that guy's eyes, that fullback. I just think he needed to get at him a little bit more and be given the ball a little bit more. I think other than that, there's been a lot that Johnson did quite well down the right hand side. I thought he looked pretty strong. I don't think he gave the ball away at all from memory. I think the back four looked okay. They looked relatively solid. I mean, Zuma was better than he was the other night. Zuma looked like he was for the knackers yard the other night. I thought he was properly injured. But as usually happens with Zuma, he comes back the following game and looks all right. Yeah. So, that it was Alvarez was magnificent throughout the whole game. From start to finish, for me, he was just head and shoulders above everybody on the pitch, including the Man United players. He did it all today. He played the typical Declan Rice role today. He was pushing the team up the pitch, right? It's just a pity that we didn't have any creativity in there. Someone that he could lay the ball off to that would do that little bit of magic. And I think there's a trick missed here by Moyes, and that is putting Kudus out on the right. Why on the left? Why park him out on the left? There's no point in doing that.
I didn't see, as you know, I did not see the first half, as I've said. Yeah. From what I saw, I was actually saying, because I didn't know that he'd moved Kudus over. And a couple of the breaks that we had, I thought if Kudus was there, I thought we would have done a lot better. That's how I thought. Yeah. And then it wasn't until Nick said, and he said it on his post-match show as well, that he was having a lot more. He was playing really well on that right-hand side, but then he's moved him over to the left where Shaw can mark him off. And then what I saw of that, and I've seen something on the Man United channel somewhere, that some of them were saying Diallo was their player of the match. So he must have really come alive when Kudus was moved. So it's like a double slap in the face. Do you know what I mean? He come alive when we come, and Kudus has been sort of marked out the game. Because I think from what I saw in the second half, I didn't think it's probably one of the worst halves I've seen Kudus play for us in the second half. Yeah. But again, remember, I didn't watch the first half. So I didn't say that. Alvarez, though, if he was like that in the first half, all day long, he was a man of the match because I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, yeah.
I think from what I saw, see some people on here said that Zuma shouldn't have started in that, but I thought from what I saw in that second half, Zuma made a couple of important interceptions. There was 2 specifically that he made 2 interceptions. Yeah.
I see why he's done it though. I see why he's done it. He's put Zuma back in his natural position and put Agued in his natural position. It's a left and a right. Yeah.
But would you say that he played better, like Zuma? Like,
he was much better than the other night. My God, yeah, way better.
The thing that worries me though, and I thought that would stop once he gets back in his normal position, but he's still making runs up the halfway line, and he needs to stop that because he's not about that. No,
it's right. But I think Kudus is a bit hot and cold at the moment. But I think you've got to make the most of him, of his abilities, right? He is. I know he's left-footed, but he's two-footed. Really, he's two-footed. When you put him out on the wing, as Paul says there, he's got 2 on him all the time. It's very easy to mark, and that's the same with Paqueta as well. That's how they shut Paqueta down. Some teams, right, put 2 men on him. You can't do that really if it's in the middle when he can go either way. Now, we know Paqueta should be playing in the middle. We know that Kudus should be playing in the middle as well. Because Kudus, it's like, it's common perception that Kudus has been brought in to replace Paqueta. Like he can play that position. It's where he plays for Ghana. So if he's got somebody who can play that position in reserve, why don't he use him? Why is he stuck him out on the left wing? And that's for the same reason he sticks Paqueta out on the left wing. He doesn't want to get too frilly too early, right? He doesn't want to do all that. He wants to attack when he wants to attack, which, as we saw today, was, 70th minute when he made some changes. He changed it around in the second half, Mickey. I mean, we conceded a goal. It was a good goal, actually. It was a good finish on 23. I don't think there was much that could be done about that, to be honest. That Hoyland is.
I thought his goal. I thought the finish was brilliant. You've got to be honest there. I thought the finish was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
I did think Ward Prowse was very soft, very lightweight when he could have barged him off of his run, but he didn't. It was the other way around. So but the finish itself was fantastic. If we would have scored a goal like that, we would have been raving about that. So fair was fairs.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good goal. It was a good finish. I don't know, to be honest, I didn't watch the replay of the goal to find out who was wrong. I was bad enough having to watch the game, to be honest, but I did. And then it was another time where Thomas Souček got booked. There was a guy that broke through. I think he nick the ball off of Emerson, was it?
Who's that?
No, Thomas Souček got booked for a foul. It was like a professional foul. Guy was clean through in 37 minutes.
I didn't see that, but apparently it was it was a good yellow to take. Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah, because it was a 1-on-1 against Zuma, right? And so he had to take it really. So again, credit to him for that. I think that was the right thing to do. Alvarez had a good towards the end of the half. Had a good header on goal. From a set piece. I think also, I can't remember if it was the first half or the second half, but again, Ward Prowse had another perfectly positioned free kick. A perfectly positioned free kick that he didn't do anything with. Hit the wall. Yeah, second half, he swapped them around. He swapped Johnson and Kudus around, which I thought was strange because the better player is the left back for Man United, right? What's his name? Solid player. And so it will come to me in a minute. Luke Shaw. And so Kudus got absolutely no change out of him in the second half. He got no change out of him. And Johnson didn't have the same effect on that fullback as Kudus had in the first half. So for me, it was a bit of a balls up changing it around in that way. And it wasn't long until we conceded a goal. It was 49 minutes. With Garnacho, left-footed shot from the right side of the box into the bottom corner, assist by Bruno Fernandes, a guy that everyone likes very much. And then Scott McTominay, David Moyes' wet dream, came on the pitch. I think if you're looking forward about 72 minutes, we made our substitutions. Thomas Souček actually got substituted, Mickey. What's that about?
Yeah, I was surprised
Strange.
about that. I said on the chat he won't drop him, and then about 5 minutes later he come off. But then 5 minutes later after he come off, I was calling for him to come back in. I know what you were saying, that you thought Phillips looked all right in the first 5 minutes.
5 minutes. He
Yeah,
found.
5 minutes. But
Yeah.
You said, like, and as you said, we all look at things differently, because I disagreed. I didn't think you looked good then. And then literally 2 minutes after you said that, he done very kind of cardboard copy of that. And I said it the other day. I know it was a bad pass by Zuma.
Yeah.
But as a defensive midfielder or any player, you need to be aware who's around you and that. And I do think he still could have got it. The pass definitely didn't help. It was shocking. But it's like the same thing happened today. He didn't know his position, didn't know who was around him. Just didn't. Yeah, I didn't. Again, it's not to blame. It's not his own fault, if you like, Phillips. He's rusty. He's really rusty. And Nick's right. He's got to play him in it. But he's again, what a bad decision to get him in a January transfer window. Terrible.
Well, especially when it's the last position on the pitch that we needed another CDM. We don't need another CDM, right? So he's got no choice but to play him. You can't put him on the bench when he's fit, right? So you've got to squeeze him in and drop out one of the others, you would have thought, right? I don't know. He's put himself into a difficult position. It's not a difficult position to Moyes, because Moyes, for him, it's a... by the way, did you hear the reason why he brought him in?
No, go on.
Did you hear what he said? So he actually said this to a journalist. He said, "Oh yeah, the boys top draw, and it was really important at this time of the season for me to be able to show the other players in the dressing room that we can go and get a top player from a top club." Now, what kind of psychology? This ain't the Lingard scenario. We've moved on, Dave, right? We've got Paqueta, we've got Kudus, we've got Bowen, even you look at all of these, none of these are going to be overwhelmed. You look at all those players on the pitch, who's going to be overwhelmed and excited by Phillips joining and think, oh, the Messiah's here, it's fucking brilliant. We've got a big player from big. They're all big players, Dave. No one's going to care. They're going to be looking at him on his merits. What can he do on the pitch? And so far, it's give goal chances away.
I swear that half the time he gaslights the fans. He's got to, because
he does.
He gaslights them, because it's what makes us so angry and fucking. He's a stupid man.
This is the thing. I don't. You know, all of his technical deficiencies of what he does wrong on the pitch. The thing that I hate about him the most is he's a fucking liar and a gaslighter. The biggest gaslighter I've ever seen.
Massive
right? Bar
gaslighter.
none.
An arsehole.
Yeah. And I could take, I just want, I love an honest manager. And so that's why, you know, sometimes, you know, like we were talking about Postecoglou, and Postecoglou comes out and he says the most uncomfortable things, but he's very honest, right? He's very honest with the journos. And there's so many other managers like that as well. Eddie, what's his name at Newcastle? He's very honest, right? I mean, there are so many managers out there who are, and he just isn't. He plays us, right? And I'm sick of being played.
Do you know what someone said it? Like, the people are saying Suchek or JWP, and someone said about JWP taking all of our set pieces, and I get it. But do you know what? The one thing I've seen, and the one thing that really annoys me, is that they're so reliant on Ward Prowse putting it on their head. We don't attack the corner like we used to. You know, like when Dawson used to come running in from like 10 yards, bosh, or like Zuma, he's there. We just don't do that no more. And that is, again, like it or not, people, or like the Moyes, that is Moyes, because he took over the set piece training. And we don't attack anything like that no more, like we used to. He's literally hope that Ward Prowse can find their head without them moving as such. We need to be running onto it. We don't have it no more. So I don't really blame Ward Prowse. You can see that he's got it in his locker. We all know he has. And he does put a class ball in. Unfortunately, we're just having the players, or the players are being told not to fucking attack them. And I'd never understand that. I don't understand why.
No, I totally agree. Right, let's do the player ratings. I mean, look, it is what it is. We lost 3-0. We got rolled over. It's another day, another defeat next week, I would imagine, next Sunday. Right, let's right. So this is the first attempt at me to do this, right? So I hope it works, everyone.
It's a bit different tonight.
It's going to be different. It looks similar. It should look
Well,
similar.
I ain't seen it, so I'm just going off what you said. So
yeah, it should look similar by the time it gets there. Entire screen on share.
We'll take him. We'll take
there we go. There we go.
Look at that.
I know. So while this is on, and I've got a really small face in the corner, I'm going to have a nicotine pill, a chewing gum, because I feel a little bit tense. Right. You should have
had 3 at the first 5 minutes, Gal.
I know. I should have eaten a few before I came on, shouldn't I? Oh, I don't know what happened to me there. Red mist.
I'll leave it out. Everyone loved it. We all loved it, didn't we? It took me by surprise. I was shocked. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah. No, see, it's kind of moved on for me. It's not really about the game that I just watched anymore. It's not really about it. It's about I'm losing something quite big at me life, I think. Right. Right. Okay. Let's start off with Alphonse Areola, who he went off at half time, didn't he? For a concussion, Ogbonna, clash of heads with Ogbonna. That's going to hurt, isn't it?
Take that one, Gal, because I didn't watch the first half, and that's the only one. That's the only bit he played. So,
all right, let's go from the people in the chat. Then, what did you give Areola for his first half performance?
No, that's you. That's what I'm saying. If you take that first one, because I didn't watch the first half.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, Dogas, go back after this. Watch it again.
No.
You'll love it.
I was going to take it. Yeah, don't bother. So the people in the chat are giving him a 6 or a 7. I don't think he did it. He pulled off some good saves. He was actually quite good. There's some mixtures between 6s and 7s. There's some 8s.
There is a lot of 6, 7s.
The odd 5. Yeah, I think I'll go with. I really like Areola, and he's saved our skin quite a lot lately. So let's give him a 7. Let's be generous.
All right, 7. 7 for Areola.
Right. So let's start off with Emerson, Mickey.
All right, Emerson, I can only go off again. It's only for the second half, people, that what I saw. Emerson tried. I think he, again, it's the same situation. He's really missing the link-up play with Paqueta, I'd say. But he did. He had a good couple of runs. I think he linked up quite well with Alvarez, to be fair, here and now. He missed that. He made it all himself, to be fair. That chance. He did make it himself, and he lost his footing, and he weren't in the right position for it. So I don't really. He had another go. He looked like one of the players who actually giving it a go in that second half for me. So I'm going to say I'll say a 6 on average. I'll give him an average rating for that 6. He weren't below, but he weren't above.
You know when he got that chance, right? Yeah. You know who he robbed, right? He robbed the 50 million Moyes wet dream, Harry Maguire.
He did. He absolutely robbed him. Like I said, he done really well to get in that position. I thought it looked like he could have cut it back, but maybe I was being a bit harsh with that. And he just lost. Yeah. I think he was in 2 minds, Gal, wasn't he? I'd say he was in 2 minds with that, what to do, pass it or shoot. And then by the time he's decided, he just weren't set up for it. So yeah, I'll give him the 6.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. I was a bit embarrassed for him when he hit that shot, because his body shape was just all wrong. It's like the way he was shaped. It's like he was shooting into the stand. It was like he wasn't aiming at the goal.
Yeah, but no, I agree. That's why I said he did it. He couldn't make up his mind, and then by then he lost his footing. It weren't in the right position for him to take that shot on, and it was a bit of a that sort of summed us up, I think. Definitely.
So Vlad Sufal, I think he did quite well today. I'd give him, I think he was pretty solid. I don't think he got embarrassed. I can't think of any flash points. I don't think he was responsible for any of the goals directly, was he? Perhaps people in the chat can tell me. I think it was a decent performance, as in average. It wasn't good. It wasn't crap. I think.
Hold on, people, we're on Sufal. So
yeah, we're on Vladimir Sufal.
I'm trying to do the comments, and people are getting ahead of themselves. Sorry, people. If you can just stick with Sufal for the moment, it'll be much helpful for me. Thank you.
Nothing comes to mind. Nothing sticks out to me that Sufal was particularly good or particularly bad. So, that to me is just an average, decent defensive performance. All right, most people in the chat seem to be agreeing, so I'm going to go 6 on that. So let's go. I'll give you Zuma, because the other night when I watched him in front of me, you know, not many yards away from me in the London Stadium, he looked fucked. He looked like his knees had gone, right? I thought that was the last time we were going to be seeing him. He could barely run. He could barely jump, which is unusual for him, right? What do you, Zuma? And,
Zuma. Yeah.
And today it was a different matter altogether. He looked like a different player.
Well, so I'm looking at here, and people are giving him a 5. But from what I saw in the second half, I didn't think he was a 5. I thought that, like I said, I thought he made some good, important interceptions. From what I saw, one was really good. It does worry me all the time. He goes up to that centre half. Don't understand why he does it, because he's not that sort of player. I know Emma's wife, he hates him. He's giving him a 4. But it's for me, as slow and that is, I still think he's our best centre back.
The other night I wouldn't have said that. The other night I thought he needed dropping.
No, but in general, in general, I'll still say I think he's a beast in the air. All right, I'll give him a 6 as well. I think he had an average game from what I saw in the second half. I think that he had an average game.
And bear in mind, he is playing with wooden legs, right? He is.
Someone said hockey stick legs, and I quite like that comment. I did quite like that comment. But yeah, for me, I'm going to give him a 6. I didn't see anything below average in that second half for me.
Okay, so right, move on to Aguerd. I thought Aguerd had a very decent game. I remember one particular tackle where he had to stretch out and get his foot to it. I thought that was very, very good. Used his pace. The guy at the winger was threatening to go past him. Again, I can't think of any flashpoints. He scored what you could say was an own goal, but it wasn't really, was it? It was. I don't think it even goes down as an own goal because it was on target before it got deflected. Right?
No, it didn't.
I mean, I don't know. It's difficult to watch in slow motion replay. It's difficult to see how fast the ball moved in real time. Did he have a chance to somehow move because he just didn't move at all? And I don't know whether that was something that he could have done, or he, or could have or should have done. But I don't think it was. I think he was fine. So again, it was a decent performance. But you can't be getting a big eye score in a defence that's just lost 3-0, right? So I'll give him a 6 as well.
Yeah, I think that's at the start of this, everyone was it was kind of people were giving him 5s, a lot of 5s, but I think the majority was saying 6. So I think that's fair then. Yeah.
Thomas Souček. I mean, I saw more of Thomas Souček than you did, so he went off halfway through the second half, didn't he? Souček. Yeah. I mean, Souček for me. Oh God, what have I done? There we go. Souček for me, he did okay, actually. I thought he had a reasonable game in the first half. I mean, he's always going to frustrate you. He's always going to be, chasing shadows at times, running around. But I thought he was actually quite, reasonably effective today, only because he wasn't playing in the number 10 role. He was playing in the more deep line role with Alvarez. Now, there is one thing that really annoyed me. I don't know if you guys out there noticed, right? But every time we kick off, Souček goes onto one of the wings, and whoever's kicking off just aims the ball at his head, right? Well, apparently we've started doing that in the game now because Souček, someone had the ball in midfield, don't know who it was. Souček said, out there. And then he ran out to the wing, and the guy tried to ping it out to his head. Now, that is the sort of shit that ain't even his fault. That is a tactic, right? We shouldn't be doing that stuff. That ain't the way we should be playing. We haven't got... look at the way Luton are playing football, and we've got damn sight better players than them, right? We shouldn't be doing that sort of bread and butter, meat and potatoes type of style football, I'm afraid. But that ain't his fault. I thought he played all right. I'm going to give him a 6.
Yeah. Like, obviously, you watched it. I can't say. I'm just in the chat. I don't think anyone's giving him a 6. I think everyone's got 4s and 5s. But this is your...
Oh, right, okay. No.
Rating, girl. If that's what you want to believe.
No. I want people to tell me. I've been going West Ham 65. Moyes has killed my love. Yeah. We're going to come into that after this.
If I'm being honest, the majority of votes here is 4 for Souček. They are really a lot of
in that case, I'm going to listen to the people. I'm going to mark him down to 5. I ain't going to dunk him. I ain't going to donk him up. He don't deserve that today.
Just quickly, there's another one. Sorry. Just quickly.
Thank you,
very
GP.
Much. Pew, pew, pew. I know, but
no fireworks, I'm afraid. No fireworks.
No fireworks.
No.
Still mundane. Right, who we got now?
We've got Edison Alvarez. I'll let you take him because it's an easy one. Go on.
Yeah, and thank you very much for that, because I see, like I said earlier on, if what you were saying that he was he had as good a first half as he did the second half for me, definitely the man of the match in my eyes. I love watching him doing them slide tackles, getting here and there. There was a bit, I can't remember what minute it was on, but he had like 3 or 4 players around him, and he literally done tricky flickies and got out of it, and it was fantastic to watch that. Then he moved it off to Emerson, so I think there was a chance created out of that. I really enjoyed him. I'm gonna go with an 8, easy man of the match for me. An 8. I could easily go 9, but I don't think. I think he's got more in him, so I'm going to say an 8. I'm going to stick with an 8, Gal.
I think an 8's fair. I mean, on my rating there, it's great, right? I think he was great today. I think he was superb. He carried us today. He carried us. And to think a few games ago when Phillips arrived, Moyes was talking to the press, alluding to the fact that him and Phillips play in the same position. But Dave, they're not the same player, are they? Phillips can't do what he done today. He can't carry the team up the pitch like that. You know, Phillips is a blocker and a long ball merchant. That's what he is. Good long ball merchant. Let's be honest, but that's what he is. So I hope he doesn't insult him like that again by comparing him to Phillips, because it ain't the same position. If you play CDM like Alvarez, play CDM today, that ain't the same position as Phillips.
I think he needs to, though. He's going to always do that because Phillips is his boy, and he needs Phillips to come off. Of course he does. Needs to find him to be a good one for him. Definitely.
We all need Phillips to come off the fucking pitch and go and sit on the bench. Yeah. Right. So James Ward-Prowse right at the top of his golf swing there. Just for Nick, that is. He's just he's had a pot of hummus. He's done 18 holes. He's now back at the he's back at the 19th hole having a glass of Perrier with ice. I thought he was quite industrious. Go on, Mickey. Is this my one or yours? It's mine.
Yeah, no, it's you. I just said Alvarez, didn't I?
I thought he was quite industrious, and I thought he did a lot of running today, a hell of a lot of running, Ward-Prowse, and he wasn't playing all backward passes. He was trying to feed the wide players. He was trying to do that. Didn't come off very often. His free kick, his set pieces today, utter shit. Literally nothing at all. I don't know what's happened to him, but he doesn't seem to be able to take a direct free kick anymore. I think his arse goes every time he gets one, right? He gets a little twitching in the sphincter. That's what I think. 5.
Most people said 5s and 4s, so yeah.
I'd like to see him at least force the keeper into save or hit the bar or hit the post or something like that. Go close, but don't hit the wall. Don't hit the wall, mate. You're better than that. Does he practice like Beckham used to practice? Because even when Beckham was brilliant playing for Man United, he stayed behind and practiced every single day. Yeah, but I don't think Ward-Prowse does.
No, he does. Apparently he does. It's one of the other things that he said. He practices all the time. But again, for me, I do honestly how mad is it? That's his biggest asset, right? Is his set piece. But it seems Moyes has killed that off already. Like, you got to remember, when he first come to us, he had a lot of assists and he was banging good balls in. So something is definitely gone wrong there. It has to. And there's only one common thing, and that is Moyes. It is. I'm sorry, but it is. But then also, like I said, no one attacks a ball. They expect him to put it on their head so they don't have to move, or like just even move like the slightest. No one attacks. No one attacks his crosses in, and that's what needs to happen. Imagine I had that I can't remember the bloke who he was only England set up. He was our set piece specialist. I can't remember his name now, but I'm sure someone to tell me. But if we still had him, then James Ward-Prowse would have a lot more assists and put in a lot of balls because they go and run onto the ball and attack it. But we're not having that. So it's making not only our set pieces look bad, but it's making James Ward-Prowse deliveries look really bad. That's in my opinion.
This is a good point as well, right?
Nevin, that's it. Thanks, people.
Kudus, right? Kudus, he can take a free kick. He used to take free kicks for Ajax. Bloody hell, he can't do any worse, can he? Why does JWP have to take every single set piece?
Look, this is what I'm saying, right? So look, I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying, Damien. But what I'm saying is there's no movement. He's a set piece coach. I
fucking hate that expression, you know. I hate that expression. Give you.
Yeah, I don't like it. But
fucking patronising.
No, but let people say what they want to say. It doesn't bother me, but I don't think he's understanding what I'm saying.
I know.
There's no movement in our set pieces. So he could put a good ball in, but if no one's running onto it or coming onto it, then it's going to look bad. So that's what I'm saying about. That's why I blame James Ward-Prowse set piece. I'm blaming Moyes for the set pieces all in total. To be fair to you.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Might be wrong. I might be wrong. People will let me know if I'm right if they don't agree, and that's fine. People don't have to agree. That's what we're here for. And I'll make sure I give me the wobble next time.
Yeah. So you're on to you can. Well, I saw Kudus when he was at his most effective, so I'll take Kudus. Right. I thought he had a decent first half. I thought you could tell that defender, that fullback, he didn't want to dive in because he knew he'd slip it past him. Right. He was facing up to him. He was facing up to him, kind of threatening to go either way. I wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see him more on the ball and being able to really tease that fullback, but he never really got the chance to do it. It was only like once or twice. I thought he played well. He's always, honestly, wherever he gets the ball, you can play him like Paqueta anywhere on the pitch and he'll do something exciting. He excites the hell out of me, you know. I just want to see him on the ball all the time. Like Nick was saying about King Gary, give it to Abusi. That is Kudus. It's what we should be doing. We should be trying to find him with a ball whenever we can. And he should be playing right here in the middle where James Ward-Prowse is playing, right? That's where he should be playing. Now, I know it's a bit of a silly idea putting Ward-Prowse out on the left. It didn't work the other night, but we'd have to have some kind of other way of dealing with this. But Kudus, while Paqueta's not there, Kudus is our Paqueta. He is our creative engine. But as all creative engines, they have to spend 70 minutes on the left in every game. I'm going to give him a 7. He wasn't as good as Alvarez, but he was literally our only viable threat, and he got basically put in chains in the second half because
I'm assuming, because a lot of people are saying 7s and 8s, they are. So I'm assuming, I'm assuming he had a better first half than the second. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Because like I said to you, he was like kind of one, and he didn't have a bad second half by any means, but he was the worst I've seen him. And that's Kudus, do you know what I mean? So
yeah, well, Luke Shaw kept him dead quiet. The guy on the other side couldn't get near him. Right, we still didn't get the ball to him enough for him to hurt them. But whenever he did get the ball and he faced off against him, the guy looked terrified. The fullback looked terrified. So Ben Johnson, Mickey, what did you think? As I think he was pretty much the same in both halves. If I'm being honest, he does a job.
Am I right in saying that he was in a different position? In the first half, because Soufal come off and he slipped into right back, didn't he? Ben Johnson. So where did he start off, Gal?
He started off in the first half. He was on the right wing.
Right. Okay.
And the second half they switched him. He switched him around, so he went over to the left, I believe, and Kudus was on the right. Then he made the substitutions. He put Cornet on the left, put Johnson to replace Soufal at right back.
Right. Okay. I get that. To be fair, I kind of like Johnson when he made a couple of runs inside from being like in the middle of the pitch. He made a couple of runs inside to try and get. Oh, sorry. Let me just quickly say hello. Hello, mate. Up to the family.
To be clear, he played in 3 positions in one game.
Yeah, I see. Because I thought he was out on the left at one point. Am I got that wrong?
Was he out second half? Second half, yeah.
I thought so. I didn't want to just say that without knowing for sure. But yeah, so I think that he done all right. I think from what I saw, I'll go with the lads on here. I'll say a 7. I thought he done all right.
I think he deserves a 7. I think that's a right score. Oh, moving it around. There we go. 7.
But I'm relying a lot on the chat for these, to be fair to you. So I'm sort of nicking your thoughts on them. I'm not going to lie, because it is actually hard when you don't watch a full game.
Yeah, damn right. So Jared Bowen, again, he don't look fit to me, Jared, right? He got that chance where he was clean through. He needed to shoot earlier than he did.
Yeah, I agree.
That's very un-Jared, isn't it? Because he usually shoots early. He likes to shoot early. So I don't know why he didn't for once. He gave that defender a chance to slide in. He shouldn't have had a chance. The ball should have been in the back of the net. A few weeks ago, it would have been. So I don't think he's completely fit. He didn't do much to damage the opposition. All he did was play the David Moyes striker role of chasing defenders around, of which he did a hell of a lot of chasing defenders around. He did a lot of work, but he was largely invisible. And I think that he should be played on. Look, we need a striker, and he should be played on the right. That's the way it should be. Kudus should be in the middle on left. I mean, you could have Kudus and Paqueta. One could play on the left, one could play in the middle. They could switch around. You know, it's an ideal world, isn't it?
But do you honestly think, Dale? Do you think that this is also not? Look, I think the team is, but this is again, especially people like Bowen are missing that Paqueta, that through ball.
Oh, definitely.
That's what I'm saying, because he makes them runs, and that's where Paqueta finds him. So without him, you can see Bowen's lost a lot of his game when he's been playing up top. Stick him out on the right, and he's his own man. But when he plays up front, he definitely 100% needs that Paqueta to find them runs and to find him. That's what I believe, and that's what I was asked. Do you reckon that's the same? Like, do you reckon that's a fair point?
I think Chrissy James here has said you're wasting his talents. I think we're doing that with him and with Kudus, to be honest. I think we're not getting the best out of both of those very top quality attacking players, right? We're not molding the team around them, but really we should be, because we haven't got anybody else who can score us a goal apart from set pieces. So we've got to try and feed them. We've got to try and play a system that Skinner put them in positions where they can score. And it was only that one long ball over the top. That's really the only chance that they had. I mean, the stats said we had 22 shots, but 3 on target, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
It was a difficult one. They had 12 shots and 5 on target, Man United. We had a lot of corners, and the possession was 50-50. But like I said earlier, I think that might have been Man United's choice to force us to play like that. I don't think we would have played like it out of choice. If we did, if that was Moyes reluctantly playing a high press and everything else, then, you know, being the Moyes whisperer that I am, he will be back to playing deep line defensive against Arsenal next week, because he's done his frilly bit. He's proved everyone wrong that Moyes ball is the answer, and he'll be back to low block again next week. Just my opinion. But I'm going to give him a 4. I don't think he was up to much today at all. So I thought I was going to get away without. Well, I can't see. He missed that chance. That was a good chance. I can't remember much else that he did, Mickey.
Listen, I'm just sorry. Maybe I'll just go off like a straight impact thing. But look, you watched the whole game. It's your market. Yeah. So I can't disagree with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking through. I'm going to take people's advice on this, and looking through the chat, pretty much everyone's giving him a 5. There's only a few people giving him a 4. A few 6s in there as well. So yeah, I'll give him a 5. I won't donk him up. Don't want to ruin the pitch, do we? So when you look at it, you know, average, that's probably about right. A couple of decent performances, many average performances, a few subpar performances, and we lost 3-0. So that's probably reflective of the score, isn't it? Really. So you saw the substitutes, Mickey. So Fabianski, what's around?
Actually, that's quite an hard one to mark, because I don't think he was fantastic. I don't think, like, look on the goals. The second goal, that was a mistake by Phillips. Could he have done anything more for that second goal?
The third goal.
No, and the second goal though, wasn't it? Second and sorry, but I'm just reliving the 2 goals in my head for the second half. Yeah, possibly. A lot of people are giving him 4s and 5s. I'll go with a 5. I'm not going to donkey him up
No.
because I don't think he done any errors, like anything bad.
No, I don't think he did. I don't think he did.
Didn't do anything good either. So
no,
below average. I can't give him a. Yeah, I've got to say a 5. I'll agree with most people in this chat.
So look, people in the chat, I don't want to be unfair, right? So this is going to go out to you. I'm just going to say, give my comments on Phillips. Tell me what you think as well. I think he came on in the first couple of minutes. I thought he looked all right. He was passing inside to Alvarez. Him and Alvarez, I think, passed back to each other a few times. He looked like it. He got a couple of tackles in as well. He looked pretty strong for a couple of minutes. And then did he run out of steam after 5 minutes? I don't know. But suddenly he's chasing the game again. And he's all over the place. So maybe that's what's going to happen. We get 5 minutes today. We get 10 minutes next week. By the time the season finishes, he'll be lovely and fit and ready to go back to Man City to be sold for a few quid. So it was, in summary, he went very good today. I'm going to give him what people saying. 3.
2s and 3s.
3s. I think a 3's fair, to be honest. You can't come on for 20 minutes and concede and concede, help concede another goal. That's the opposite. That's the antithesis of why you've been brought onto the pitch, right? You're supposed to be stopping goals, not fucking causing them.
This one, sorry, Gal, sorry to interrupt you, but I know people say this, and people said it about the last week's game with Zuma. But Lawrence, like I was saying, as a big CDM role, you've got to be aware of your surroundings. He should have known that he got robbed. He literally got robbed off that ball. Like, he wasn't strong at all. We didn't know the geezer was behind him. Like I said, I fully understand. He's not a bad player. He's a very good player. But he's not up to speed. And for how long it's going to take for him to get up to speed, it's just not a good signing to make in the January transfer window. I will stick by that. He probably will. He will look good, I think, towards the end of his loan. But again, that's what John said it earlier on. He just looks like he's here to get match fit for the England lot.
Yeah,
so
I know.
You've got as much as everyone wants. Like we say, we want him to work, and that which we do. We do want him to work, but you've got to rate them on their performances, and he just wasn't good. You can blame passing all you want, but he should have done better with that all day long. So I agree. He was a donkey. He was a 3. I would have probably given him a 2, but Gary likes him in the first 5 minutes, didn't you, Cal?
I did. I thought it was a cracking 5 minutes, Mickey. It might have been 2 minutes. I might have been over-egging it a little bit, right? What about Cornet?
Do you know what? I thought actually all right. I thought he'd done all right, Cornet.
Yeah.
I was genuinely surprised because even like when he scored that goal, I thought that game, I didn't think he was good in that game. We had this discussion at that game. So Cornet didn't. He scored the goal, but I didn't think he was good in that game. But when he come on, I thought he looked a bit creative. Do you know what I mean? A little bit lively.
Yeah.
I thought he was good. So for that reason, I know he was a sub in that, but I thought he was average. He wasn't below average by any means. And he wasn't amazing, but I think that he was average. I'll give him a 6.
I thought he had a spring in his step again. You remember when he came on and set up that chance for Souček in Europe, and he was like buzzing, and he thought it was going to give him a few more minutes, and then Moyes just give him nothing for weeks, right?
Yep.
He seemed to have a spring in his step again today, and I hope it stays like that, because no one likes to see fucking miserable players. And what happened with, I must admit, what happened with Ben Rama, who was, by all accounts, a lovely guy. Honest lad, and Fornals especially, because Fornals really, really bought into West Ham, and I kind of loved him a little bit. I had a lot of time for Fornals. Remember those videos with him and his little baby? Nick posted it the other night just to make me all upset. Right? I love Fornals, and to think we treated him that way, he couldn't just leave cleanly. He couldn't get a little clap from the fans the other day in his last, sitting there in the stand wondering if the deal's going to go through. Just seems unfair. It seems unfair the way we treated those players.
Like someone said, look, Cornet has seen Ben Rama and Fornals go, so maybe he sees his chance. But I agree with that.
Maybe.
But the problem is, I agree with that. But the problem is Moyes going to give him that chance? In my eyes, he should have started against, Bournemouth? He should have started against Man United. the reason why I think he should have started against Man United is because we had he played too many defensive players for me.
Yeah.
You need something like that.
This is the thing, though. When they say, "Oh, we haven't got a left-sided player," we have. He's a fucking left. He's a winger, right? He's probably better in that position if you give him a run in the team. Looking at his history, where he's been and what he's done, he's better in that position than either Pablo or Benrahma. But he's taken a dislike to him.
Let's go to the extreme, Miguel. When you look at, we've just been talking about Phillips, right?
Yeah.
And saying about how he's not up to match fitness. Yeah, so that same argument has got to go for people like Paqueta and oh fuck me, I forgot his name there. Cornet. It's got to go for Cornet and the Benrahmas and the 4-0s. The same thing's got to apply. The difference is that they have had a little bit more football, but you do need a run. You do need a run. And this is what really fucks me off with Moyes, because not only he never learns his lesson. So not only with Cornet, but the same thing happened with Danny Ings, who had a great, or his best, not say great, but his best performance in that number 10 role, and then he gets dropped for the week after. And then they get dropped again for this game for more defensive players when it clearly didn't fucking work against Bournemouth and it clearly won't fucking work in here. So let's see what he does against Arsenal, because I've still got a feeling he'll go more defensive players. And that's another reason why it's so fucking depressing and gets you rattled up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. So look, let's go with let's talk about the big man, the man of the moment, the man who's about to sign another fucking contract, West Ham. The Messiah, the Moyesiah, David Moyes, the dinosaur. What are you going to give him? He's already got a donkey on his head from the other night. People in the chat, tell me your rating for Moyes today.
What's this one here? 3,000
votes. 3,000 votes on Sean's poll. 45% have said they won't renew their season ticket if Moyes stays. Again, it's a meaningless poll. Sean, you're putting that out as fact, mate. It ain't fact, is it? Are you taking people's season tickets? Number? Do you know they're season ticket holders? No. I voted no, right? But I'm a season ticket holder. Mickey could vote. He ain't got a season ticket. Oh, he could go on your poll and vote, right?
But do you know what, though, Gal? Even right. So what you were saying about people can go on there, and I fully agree with that. You're going to get a lot of Moyes-inners and little trolls and that go on there, but even if that's the case, 45% that have said no is still a big number. Nearly half of
the season ticket holders. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt.
That is good enough, more than good enough for them to look at that and go, he's got to fucking go. Because it shouldn't be that big of a gap. It shouldn't be basically a 50-50 on whether people are going to renew or not. It shouldn't be. It should be at least 80% people going to renew. That's how it should be. But because it ain't, he's got to fuck off. That is what he said. That's Nick, by the way.
Yeah, no, 45%, nearly half. I mean, look, what I said about it being a meaningless poll, right? I do think it's meaningless, right? Because it's going to be inaccurate, because you're not going to get just season ticket holders voting on it. But let's just assume that as many season ticket holders voted, yes and no, and all the others, let's say it averaged out, right? But yeah, 45% is ridiculous. That isn't nearly half the season ticket holders.
It's terrible.
It's awful,
and that's only now, Gal. Imagine in a couple of weeks' time, when the performances will get fucking worse. We ain't going to beat Arsenal. If we do, then whatever. I'll chuck this out away. Actually, forget that, because if we do, I'm not going to chuck this out away. But
we ain't beating Arsenal. We ain't beating Arsenal. We ain't beating Brentford. We ain't beating Brentford either, right? Brentford at home. When's the last time we beat Brentford at home? Answer: we haven't.
Oh, and they've got Tony, and who's scoring goals already. Do you know what I mean?
Well, look, if Thomas Frank, as we know, has got David Moyes' number. He knows how to beat him, right? He knows how to beat him. He will beat him. And when you look at the fixtures coming up, it doesn't make pretty reading until you get to Burnley at home, which is miles away. Right. If you look at the fixtures that are coming up, Mickey, you've got home to Arsenal, away to Forest. We ain't winning away to Forest, right? That is a little ground where the crowd are on top of you. They're playing quite decent football now. They're all upbeat again. We're going to go there and try and defend it, and we might get a draw, maybe. And that's a game we really should win, right? West Ham at home to Brentford. It is a game we really should win. We ain't going to win it. Then we're away to Everton. We ain't winning that either, right? The first game that we got a chance of winning is at home to Burnley on the 9th of March. By then, if we've had several defeats in a row, he's going to go out and low block the fuck out of that game.
God, don't you know it? Don't you know it? I think he'll low block it anyway. I think that he's fanned out. He's proper fanned out without Paqueta. But even then, I don't give him no credit for Paqueta. I really don't.
Yeah, that's what I said, Steve. I said we've got Arsenal, then we've got Forest away, then we've got Brentford at home, right? And the fixtures just don't get easy, you know. So Arsenal at home, Forest away, Brentford at home, Everton away, Burnley at home, Villa at home, Newcastle away. Right? And then home to Tottenham, then away to Wolves, and then at home to Fulham, which is one that we should win. Away to Palace. Chance of winning that maybe. Home to Liverpool, right? Away to Chelsea. How often do we win at Chelsea these days, even if they're crap?
Well,
home to Luton.
Chelsea, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We do. Last time I went, we won. That was that Alvin Martin's kid in goal. No, it wasn't the last time. I saw us lose the following season. West Ham at home to Luton. And again, if Luton are fighting for their lives that day, like they are at the moment, who knows? And then away to City at the end. So tell me where the points are coming from. Apart from, you know, you pick through a couple, right? You say Forest away, might get a point there, maybe, right? Everton away, maybe a point. Home to Burnley, 3 points, maybe. Then let's look at the rest of them. Home to Fulham, maybe 3 points. Away to Palace, maybe a point, maybe 3. Right? Where are the points coming from? And this was my point. To overuse a word, this was my point a couple of weeks ago. The fixtures in the first half were very much in our favour. They're not in our favour this time around. They're really horrible. This time we had to go away to Sheffield United. Last time, first half of the season, we just rolled them over without breaking a sweat at home. Right?
Who's that, Gal? Sorry, mate. I'm just looking at the chat for a minute.
Right.
Sorry.
Everyone unsubscribe from the mailing list on your West Ham accounts. That way, even those that only shop get to tell West Ham they don't want to know, and it doesn't hurt us in the media. We're still West Ham. Yeah, I know. And look, you know, if this does happen and he gets a new contract and I walk away, I'm just going to wait until Sullivan goes. I'm not going to walk away from West Ham forever, but I'll just wait until he pisses off. Could be 10 years. Who knows? I might not even still be here. Who knows? But there you go.
Oh, that's
miserable, isn't it? Ain't it miserable?
Oh, mate.
You never know. You can't take shit for granted, can you?
I
hope I am.
Just driving it up.
I hope I get to go. I hope I go back to West Ham and enjoy it after that fucker's gone. I hope I do. But anyway, yeah. So
what we giving Moyes then, Gal? What you give Moyes?
Well, let's look at what he did today. What did he do today? Right? He limited Kudus to being played on the wing. He played 2 attackers and 7 defenders, 8 defenders, like he did the other night. Yeah. That's showing no intent, really, is it? I mean, it was a high press, and we put plenty of pressure on them, but there was no real danger. Close a couple of times, I guess, but it was comfortable. It set us up to set the expectations. It's always a very difficult place to go because it's Man United. It's a big badge. 2. Fuck him.
Fair enough. Hold on. Go on, Ryan.
Donkey stays.
You know you work.
Cheers, Ryan. Cheers, Ryan.
Yeah. So you give him a 2.
Yeah. Now Sullivan.
No, I don't give Moyes yet.
Yeah, go on, do Moyes.
2.
People in the chat.
He can fuck off.
Yeah, gets him out of my club.
He's literally, you know what though, Gal? Actually, I'm going to give him a 0, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because as you said, it's not just about the day's game, right?
Yeah.
It's the build up to it, and that's where I've had enough of Moyes for a long, long time, but he's never getting any better, and he's really like stagnated my fucking passion for West Ham, and that is terrible. That's absolutely terrible. It's unforgivable. I've got to give him a fucking 0, and he can fuck off out of it. That's my marking for him.
Now, what about your marks for the donkey's ass David Sullivan, who this week has done nothing but manipulate fans with by telling his minions to deliver his narrative, his message, to get the message out there that David Moyes is getting a new contract, to rub all their fucking noses in it, right? And then to run a Twitter poll seeing who's going to walk away from their season ticket. Why is that? Is that a good thing? Do you want us to walk away, Dave? Why is that? Why is that? Why are you doing this, you fucking troll? He's like the head troll, right? So, you know, for me, I mean, look, I don't again, negative's a stupid idea. It is a zero. It's a zero.
I agree. I fully agree. If I'm not seeing big, I'm usually I don't know, the smiley one. To be fair, I've got to go for a zero on him because everything we're reading at the moment, it seems like it's him that's pushing the agenda. He wants to get like a feel for a lot of the fans and what they believe in. Have a bit of fucking backbone, David Sullivan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And do the fucking right thing, mate.
He ain't got any backbone. He ain't got any backbone. I mean, and you know,
people like his little mates in talk and all that stuff.
Yeah. If a fucking mug like David Moyes can threaten somebody who is a billionaire, don't forget, he's got a lot of money, right? Hard-nosed businessman. You must be if you've made your money in the porn industry over the years, your initial money anyway. Yes, I know you do real estate now, but that's how you started, right? If you must be a hard-nosed businessman. You couldn't have run your businesses this way, as in remotely from a fucking office somewhere. You couldn't have run your businesses like this, you know, in the past, right? So something you're doing now, you're getting intimidated because David Moyes might embarrass you in the media. You might get the fingers pointed at you. Well, I'll tell you what, Sullivan, you got rid of him. I don't care if we fucking, you know, go on a losing streak. We're going to go on a losing streak anyway. No one's going to blame you. He might blame you. His mates might blame you. Who cares?
No.
Most of us just take TalkSport and all that shit with a pinch of salt, a massive pinch of salt, right? Yeah, the Moyes diehards, of which there are, you know, several out there, they might get offended by it. Who cares? Fuck them. But it's all you're doing by doing what you've done this week is taking us genuine fans. And by genuine fans, I mean, listen, you might have spent your life, you know, your early life going to watch West Ham over at Upton Park, and then you move to another country, and now you're an armchair supporter. You watch it on telly, right? But you know you're indoctrinated with the ways of West Ham. You've got a feel for West Ham, right? I think pretty much everyone who watches this channel is that way inclined. Even the ones from overseas who have always been overseas, they come over and they watch West Ham, right? So you're not strictly an armchair supporter, in my view, if you do that. If you've got a history of going, you're not an armchair supporter, right? A lot of these people who comment on Twitter, they've never gone to fucking games. They are armchair supporters, right? And David Sullivan is playing to them, the people who never fucking put their hand in their pocket, who never turn up at the ground and buy a ticket, right? That's what it seems like these people are, right? They're mainly, you know, it seems like a bunch of youngsters who are all over Twitter so much during and after a game. It's fucking clear they ain't at the game because you can't get a signal in the London Stadium for a start, right? And they would be tweeting instead of watching. So you know they're not going, right? They're not going. You ain't getting it. There's no revenue stream for you there, Dave. Your revenue stream is us.
Yeah, but he, like I said, he just doesn't.
You either fuck us over. Well, he either fucks us over and we walk away, and he looks for a new revenue stream. No, maybe he don't. Maybe he don't. Maybe he's just laughing at us. He probably is. Yeah. Maybe he's laughing at us. Maybe he finds this all very funny, very comical. You know, like, you know. And again, I like Sean West. I didn't mean to have such a pop at him earlier, but at the same time, right? Sean's the biggest wind-up going. And the way when Sean asks a question like he did earlier, I'm sorry, that is not very subtle. You're talking about people walking away from their season tickets, Sean. That might not be a big decision to you, but it's a big decision to a lot of people, right? And you just treated it with a pinch of salt, and you started that tweet off by saying he's almost 100% getting his contract, right? As if to say, fuck you lot, you're going to walk away or not? That's the way I read that tweet.
See, Alan Dunn, when he says, "Did everyone hear the commentators praising up Moyes during the game?" We haven't.
Of course, every game, and who cares?
It's not the commentators though. Al, it's other people in the media. But these are people who don't watch West Ham. They just they watch the odd one or game, but then they look at where they are. They just look at where we're sixth in the league and we're like in the second round of the Europa Cup. That's what they see. They don't look at the games. So that's why when they do watch it, they say like that. When they do watch it, they go, "Oh, this ain't like the West Ham we know," because they don't watch it. They expect it to be different, but it's not.
How did I just insult all the overseas fans on here, Mark? I didn't, right? I said, if you've got a deep love for West Ham, I may have missed out a bit about it. If you've got a deep love for West Ham and you've watched us over the years and you love the football, the way we play, you love us for a reason with West Ham, right? You love the original West Ham, right? Whether that involves going or not, right?
Yeah, he didn't mean nothing by that. No, I'll tell you that now because I can't go over there no more. That's my own personal, but I've got my own personal reasons why I don't go over there no more. I used to have a season ticket all the time. But he didn't mean nothing by that. I think you probably misheard it or misread it. So
didn't articulate myself very well, but I would never ever go at a genuine West Ham fan, someone who's got West Ham in their heart, in their soul, right? I'm just saying a lot of these people who just focus on results, they haven't got West Ham in their heart and soul. They're just looking at results because it gives them boasting power, probably in the playground or at work on Monday.
You don't like something like that.
Yeah.
It's like you. Gary messages me and says,
"No, I would never. I would never offend. I would never want to offend any loyal West Ham supporter. Don't care where you are, right? I hope I cleared that up. Right. That's it. So Pierluigi Collina down the bottom there. I think he had a decent game today. The ref didn't he? So he didn't cause any upset. I think give him a 7. Give Collina a 7.
I didn't see enough of him, so I'll let you decide.
He didn't do anything. I don't think he'd done anything wrong. I don't think he affected the game in any way, shape, or form. The bookings were obvious bookings. Yeah. Done most things right. Good to see a half decent referee, yeah. So look, let's move on. That's the game. Let's we'll keep going until 2 hours. We're on 1 hour 46. We keep on going for another 15 minutes, see where the conversation takes us. But let's talk about let's just circle back and talk about what we started talking about today. I would like to run a poll actually and find
if Nick's still listening, is there any update on the poll, Nick?
No, I'd like to run a poll of the season ticket holders who are watching this. Now, we've got 749 live viewers. I don't know how many of those are season ticket holders. Let's say, I don't know, a half, a third, something like that. But even if you're not a season ticket holder, if you're even going to watch West Ham on telly, to me, I don't even want to watch us on telly with this brand of football. And so it goes out. It's really, I'm not going to target it at season ticket holders. I'm going to target it at genuine West Ham supporters. Will you continue watching West Ham, religiously like you do today, catching every minute of every game, whether it's remote or going to the games? Or will it just become, because to me, I won't stop watching them, but I'm going to just turn my attention away to something else, right? That's what I'm going to do. So let's do a poll, if I can work out how to do it.
Nice one, Lawrence. Love the passion of you two tonight. I feel your frustration. I watched every match from Lexington, Kentucky, USA. Pew pew or pew pew.
Cheers, Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence.
Cheers, Lawrence, mate. Go on. I've just thought what was you doing, girl?
Right, I'm trying to work out how to do it. How do you do a poll in StreamYard? I'm just trying to work it out.
I have no idea. It's been mentioned many times. People who are not Moyes out, or like lots of us, are waiting until the season ends. Are delusional plastic TV support? No, you're so Mark. I don't know.
He's on a wind up, isn't he?
I don't think he is, because he does have quite a strong opinion. Sometimes
it's been mentioned many times. People who are not Moyes out, or no. It definitely ain't that, Mark. No, it definitely ain't.
Because I can't, and I don't want to be biased, but
it definitely ain't that. It definitely ain't that, right? It ain't that. I'll tell you what it is, Mark. What it is.
StreamYard, gal. Sorry,
oh, right, okay, sorry about that. What it isn't people who like Moyes. I don't care about that. Like Moyes, my cousin who I watch football with, he likes Moyes, right? Don't like Moyes, but he's not like Moyes out, right? So do that if you want. What I hate is the people who hear our opinions and they say, like that guy earlier, give your fucking head a wobble, you mug. You don't know what you're talking about, right? I never said Moyes supporters are plastics, right? I said that if you enjoy this brand of football, it's not, you know, it's a different taste to me, right? It's not something that I can like, but you like it. But don't tell me that because I like attractive football and entertainment that I'm somehow in the wrong, right? And I'm too demanding because I want to see us go after teams and try to play attacking football. That's what I want. That's what I like. I ain't going to change what I like. You like what you like. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for liking what you like. But I get told, but you only got to go on Twitter after this, right? And search out for us, and all the little trolls will be taking the piss, right? Like they do every time, you know.
I just really don't agree with this about it's been mentioned many people are not Moyes out. We don't slaughter Moyes out people.
No, we don't.
We don't slaughter Moyes out. We're not. If you look at the ratio, Moyes in supporters, I don't really care if you're Moyes in or Moyes out. I don't understand it, but I like the difference of opinion. I like to have a debate. I like to have a conversation with you. But there's no way that on this channel that we say about the delusional plastic TV supporters that are, because I'm a Catch fan. So is Ryan. Yeah. I mean, he's got a better excuse because he's over Australia. But we have got them. We are them fans. We just don't like what we're seeing, and I genuinely believe anyone who can stand what they're watching, I can't understand them. I can't understand them. We grew up as a football supporters, and football fans. We like watching football, entertaining football. There's there's been a few comments on here about like fathers with their sons, like the young sons, and they've got no real interest in going over there because it's boring as fuck.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So it's boring as fuck. So you can't,
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than taking your kid to a game of football and nothing happens, and you've just got to entertain them during a game of football, right? I mean, come on. I mean, not a season. I just want that one, right? Not a season. This is another. Can I just say, right? That's another.
Go on, mate.
The lads have praised Moyes' channel. Yeah, we have. Yeah. But anyway, I can only think that he ain't been watched many. Like, so John. Not a season ticket holder. So this is a different category. It ain't just about a season ticket holder, right? This is people who buy tickets. You know, he buys tickets. He went Thursday night, 5-hour round trip, not going anymore until there's gonna be plenty of people like that as well. Right? That is we have got a vast supporter base. I'll tell you what, 75-80% of that vast supporter base was there when we were at Upton Park. If you're only focused on the new fans that have come along since we moved in 7 years ago, I'm sure there are lots of them, right? But if you look at all of the West Ham fans that are out there, it's largely made up of, sorry to say it, slightly people above, people who are not teenagers, people who are not in their early 20s, right? Yeah, I think that's what I assumed. It's two kind of pokey comments, and it's just like
you're probably right, but I do try and like to give people like their own opinion. I don't like it to just be one opinion and there it is. But I wanted to highlight that one because I think that opinion of his there about how we. But you can't keep justifying yourself, Mickey. We don't have to justify ourselves, right? People who watch us regularly know what we do. No, I agree with you, but I genuinely think that he believed that, but I just couldn't let that lie because I think that he was so wrong and out of order for saying that when we're not that kind of channel, we're not that kind of people. We ain't.
I think Paul Sullivan has it a nail on the head here. If you enjoy this brand of football, we'll stick to Tesco Gold Coffee. Yeah, I think if you enjoy this brand of football, you're lying. That's what I'm saying, right? You couldn't have enjoyed. You couldn't have enjoyed. You can't enjoy football if you enjoyed the win away to Burnley, the game against Bournemouth the other night, the win at home to Nottingham Forest, the win against Olympiacos. No, the common thread here wins, right? They were all turgid. There was nothing to enjoy. The win at home to Sheffield United. There was nothing to enjoy. It was grim. So you enjoyed the result, sure, right? But you can't tell me you enjoyed the game.
No,
you're just gaslighting me if you said that.
We all enjoy the result. We all enjoy the result. We all enjoy being in Europe and everything. Of course we do. Yeah. But the football on offer and to watch, there's no way you can sit there and go, I won't have it. You can't sit there and go, yes, like, oh, that was fantastic. That was great. Not for the majority of the games, like big majority of the games. I can't have that. I know, mate. I fully understand you, Tony. But we all support the team. It's not about not supporting the team for us. He's not like we won't never boo the team if you like. But Moyes, he's fucking killing that passion and desire from us. He's numbing us. He's absolutely numbing us.
That's the thing. I've never done that. I've never experienced that. As I said earlier, about feeling a disconnection. Not really feeling anything when we score, not really feeling anything when Man United score. You know what I mean? It was on the edge of my seat the other night when Will Praz stepped up. You know, he had a terrible game and he stepped up and put a penalty away and then done his fucking golf swing. Does that please me? Nah, not at all.
Why does he do like the golf swing, but then he stops? He don't follow it all the way through. Is that like out of respect for Southampton? I don't know. I wonder.
He's always done that. Yeah, he's always done that. It's been his iconic celebration for many years. It's either that or it's him, mimicking eating hummus. You know, I'll shed a tear when Moyes goes. Tears of fucking joy. Same here. But I fear this. Right, is it time for Moyes out banners to reappear? Well, last season. The Moyes out banner, there was only one. We had the guy who had it called in here and he got a load of grief from people around him for putting it up. He was like in a sort of perilous situation, right? But that's the nature of the Moyes supporters, right? So, I think it is time to have the Moyes out banners, if I'm honest. we know that one single Moyes out banner pisses David Moyes off like you wouldn't believe, right? Just one. That's all it takes, like the one at Fulham. But again,
that's for the banner. That Nick's saying yes.
Again, I think, we definitely should until the point that even after he signed the contract, right? It's just Moyes out. Never going to stop. Do
you remember when you got that?
But if he gets another contract, it also turns into Sullivan out as well, right? That is something that's going to happen. The minute he makes that fuck up and gives him a contract, it's Sullivan out as well.
Do you remember?
And I know that sorry to keep talking over you, Mickey.
No, it's all right,
I keep forgetting to say this, right? But Karen Brady, she used to love Steve Bruce, the manager that most people can't stand, right? And she loves David Moyes as well. She has got, she adores David Moyes apparently.
Oh, well, that's always a positive, isn't it? That's always positive. Do you remember going back to the flag bit, the banner? Do you remember the banner though?
He's getting it out next game, is he? Sorry, he's getting it out next game. Oh, brilliant! Yeah, excellent. About time.
But do you remember when he brought the banner out first time?
Yeah.
Then Moyes went on a run of good results after he'd done that. And there's a part of me thinks, please don't bring the banner out because I don't want him being in another run. That's where he's come to. I've never been that fan who says, we lose if it means getting rid of him. Never done that.
No.
But today was the first time I thought it, and it felt disgusting. It felt absolutely disgusting to feel that way.
But I could never follow it through. Right? It sounds like something that you can. It sounds like something you should be feeling because you fucking hate the manager so much. But I can't bring myself to do it. Can't bring myself to do it. I think about it. I think, well, maybe a big good thing. And when I'm actually watching the game, I'm thinking, nah. Not good.
It's it does sound like that, Damien, and you know what I mean. It's disgusting. I even thought that. I don't like thinking that. It's just watching, and when we've done the last two shows, and it's so draining, and he's sort of like, don't get me wrong, I quickly got over it. It was just a fault that I had in my head, but it was the first time I've ever thought that.
You did do 5 hours in 2 nights, though, didn't you?
Yeah, but it wasn't. It killed me. But that's what I'm saying. It's heartbreaking to think that even I've got that. I've never been
Yeah.
I've always looked down, not say look down, but I've always thought, how can fans say that? How can they want their own team to lose?
Yeah. I
And
think
don't get wrong,
Damien
like I said,
D'Amico needs to get
quickly,
behind them. Sullivan has
don't get wrong,
shortchanged us.
it was quickly lived, but it had nothing to do with the team. It was all about Moyes. That's why I thought I'll take a loss here, because it was all about Moyes, just wanting to get him out. But
Yeah, and then it turns out it ain't all about getting him out, right? I just want this to end, and it'll never end until Moyes goes. Yeah, well, the thing is, Nick, if Stighton's gone and we have to wait for Moyes to go, who's the next manager going to be? What, fucking Rafa Benitez? I was saying, back to square one, aren't we?
yeah.
Fornals and Benrahma gone. It's the start of the clear out. That's what I thought the other night. I had my hopes up the other night because I thought they fucked him over. They've literally bought in Calvin Phillips and sold enough players to add up to the same amount of wages that Calvin Phillips costs, right? That's what they've done with Kehrer, Fornals and Benrahma, right? But no, now it's this talk has just not stopped. And they're absolutely adamant now. Yeah.
Is it better? I did turn it down. I did get the it was up like 180%. The highest you can get the other day.
Oh
like
my God, really?
Yeah, I didn't realise, because obviously you can't hear how you're talking, so I relied it. And I think Michael said, "Turn your fucking mic down, for fuck's sake." I've got a loud voice anyway. I do talk loud, to be fair.
Yeah. The banner over the stadium needs to be against Surrey. Yeah, it does. I think it needs to be both, right? To be honest, if we can get to Arsenal without the fucker being announced as having a new contract, I think that's something we should do. I don't know how we get the banners in there, but we're going to have to improvise, right? Because
Yeah,
they're going to take them off, yeah.
Where's that one? Because he did it quite nicely here. Yeah, so you've got had no emotion today watching.
Yeah.
Keith Knight hurts when we can see or lose, but I've reached the point now where we get goals scored against us. I'm just apathetic. Us fans have been Moyes too. That's what I was saying, mate. I agree. It's taking the passion and that out of you, and it comes to the point you're either going to be like Gary was at the start of this show, where he's just so annoyed, or you're just going to be me, who's got that. But
you know what I mean, though. You go through these things, right? Where something makes you angry, and then you accept it, and then it's all part of like that change cycle that you go through. I'll get over it. I'll move on, do something else, right? But at the same time, I'm really resentful and angry about it at the moment, because I feel like my favorite thing to do is being denied. It's being denied me, and a lot of people feel like that as well.
Sorry, Gal. Just what was that one?
Oh, sorry. Go on. Put the other one up. Go on. Sorry, I know we're fighting over comments.
I didn't scan it. No, it's just because I just wanted to mark it, because I get it. I get the negative football is depressing, but back in the day we was pretty and lost. European football is a bonus and puts us on the map. It will lead to better, but ultimately he has got us there. Now, I'm not denying that he's got us there. You can't deny that because he has. But what I'm saying is, as a West Ham fan, we wasn't glory hunters. We wasn't glory hunters. We wasn't about that. And
it's factually incorrect as well, right?
Yeah, but it surprised me that had the fan base as divided.
But Mickey, this comment is nonsense, right? We didn't play pretty and lose. That is not West Ham's history. West Ham's success didn't start when David Moyes got here and happened to, due to the brilliance of Paqueta and Bowen in the last minute, nick the third-rate European trophy, right? He's got us in Europe a few seasons running, but let's not forget that wasn't qualifying through the league, right? We qualified this season because of that last-minute winner. And thank God it happened last year. We qualified originally because we had Lingard and there were no fans, right? So that's what started us on this roll. It ain't like it's been normal with the normal teams at the top and we've delivered Europe. That ain't the case, mate. That ain't the case.
It's a lot of people's views, It's a lot of Moyes. I'm not saying these are Moyes. I don't know what it is, but
just fucking flushing West Ham's history, West Ham's rich history down the toilet by alluding to West Ham started when David Moyes fucking got here. It didn't.
Yeah, no, I agree. But just that what I'm saying is that seems to be a lot of Moyes fans' opinions.
Yeah, I know. It's like, we've never had it so good. Fuck off, we ain't. We had it good the year before we left, right? The last year at the bowling.
One ain't exclusive to the other, but but we did play with passion. We was exciting to watch. We've always been exciting to watch. Well, apart from like a few managers, but this seems to be a long, massive run now, and it don't look like there is an end to Moyes. I'm sorry, but there doesn't, especially with the talk at the moment, where it looks like he's gonna be getting a new contract, and I believe that he will. And
I do as well. Yeah,
again, that's another reason why you're detached from it.
Bang on.
Depressing.
Yeah, bang on, Terry. Yeah, Terence, we can, right?
Mate.
We can play well and win. You only got to think back to very recently, right? Very recently, the last year at the Boleyn, you know, better season than any of the last three, really. You know, apart from that cup, which, you know, that wasn't a Moyes masterclass, was it? We really should have. We played a low block and got away with it. Brilliant.
Someone said on that poll words to the effect, Moyes is doing a great job and we just need a couple creative signings. These people are dopey. Do they really think Moyes isn't negative by choice?
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah. He's got no idea how to use it. It's like people who say, oh, yeah, he needs a striker. Bowen ain't a striker. Well, Bowen's doing what every other striker does. I mean, Antonio does the same thing as Bowen. It's just he's bigger and more physical, right? So he tends to have more of an impact. Yeah, it is what it is. I thank you, Dogas. Sorry, I have been a little bit more angry than normal, though. But you know what? You know what, though, Mickey? When I read a comment like I read just now, it just presses the buttons because that's the shit you read after every game, right?
No, that's right. But you know,
you to suck eggs.
But we sort of say, and we always say that we do give like if someone's coming up with like an opinion, and it ain't like an arsehole opinion where they're just trying to, you know, trying to bait us, then I do like to answer it if possible. And that was just sort of, I thought that was kind of written well in the sense that is a lot of the Moyes fans' view, and you know, we've got to try and address that as well to say, because people just think we're doing it for the sake of it, Gal.
Yeah, but this just happens, Mickey, day after day, though. This is why I came off Twitter, because I got tired of it, right? I've seen that argument so many times aimed at me on Twitter that it just presses the buttons when I see it. That's why I came off Twitter. I don't want to read that shit anymore. Right?
No,
I really don't.
I get it. Yeah. But, you know, maybe that's where I'm different, because I'm not on Twitter. Yeah. I don't see this flying day in and day out. I don't. So then when I see that, like he's just fuming. So it's not. No, it ain't personal. He's very.
No, I know.
Passionate. I know. It's not personal. He's passionate.
So, sorry, mate. If you meant something completely different with that, sorry for going off. But I will stay calm for the rest of the show. And talking of calm, we're at 2:06 now, aren't we? So let's see. Are there any more comments? It's just that argument, right? It's just that argument of that used to come out with OC about, you know, it like alluding to the fact that the West Ham started when Moyes got it didn't, right? Chris, what does Chris say? Going West Ham when my boy has brought us closer and a special bond. However, taking him week in, week out is making us both miserable. We say the same stuff after every game. It is utter dross. Well, yeah, it is, and I've spent more time chatting to the people around me and Ross and Paul and everyone else at football this season than I have watching the football. And that was on the level of comical the other night. It was that bad, right? It was so bad. Mickey's lighthouse, Mike. Yeah.
Right, hold on. Yeah, there's a question. On his faults, do you think we'll spend big in the summer?
Well, not now, because maybe they'll give him a contract and a load of money to go and buy Harry Maguire. He looks good, doesn't he? And Scott McTominay, you know, he's wet dreams. You know, apparently he turned down 10 of Stighton's suggestions this window. Right. So what chance did he have, really? I just hope that I've got this completely wrong. I hope we've all got this completely wrong, and Sullivan's playing a blinder. And he don't, because if he does, I will come out and apologise and say you got it bang on, right? But I honestly don't trust the guy at the moment, because he changes like the wind. And the message that we get from various people, you know, comes directly from him. That's why I was having a go at him, because I believe it comes from him, right?
See, I think, do we think we spend big in the summer? Whether Moyes is here or not, I do genuinely think
we've got to. We've got to, Damien. Yeah,
but that's why I think that, because we have to. There is that. Now, is it going to be spent wisely? Again, does all depend on the Moyes thing. Who is it? Let me just quickly going on that one. I think it was Mikey. This is the sort of people who I believe that if Moyes is here, these are the people we'll be spending big money on. Not Lingard, I'd say, but these are the type of players that we will be getting under Moyes, and it'd be for big money, and that is depressing to think as well. But even if a new manager comes in, I do think we'll be spending big money because of that reason. We have to.
Yeah. And, Moyes does. John got that right. Moyes feels completely undermined by Steiten's appointment. Yeah, but I was looking the other day at Moyes' signing, transfer dealings over the years. It's appalling, right? It's really appalling. He's spent big money wherever he's been, and the success factor is minimal, like 20% or something like that, if you're lucky, right? And they're largely players that he bought as a bit of a bargain, right? So he's fine at operating at that end of the market, at Craig Dawson, things like that. But when it comes to spending big money, he has literally always ballsed it up, right? And so that's why Steiten came in, so we thought. What's going to happen? I don't know. Will what they're going to get him to report to Sullivan, bring another director of football in, and get him to not report to the director of football after Steiten? Or is this like an experiment with the director of football that gets abandoned and we go back to the 1980s model straight after this? I don't know. Red Bull model, yeah. Well, look, again, I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong, Michael. I'd love to be wrong, and that this is all a grand master plan of keeping the message aligned. In we're talking about a contract, blah blah blah. But I just think that certain people are so certain that this is happening now. I believe it.
Yeah, I just what happened with the Red Bull model? Thanks, Darren. I just think I don't know. It's just fucking.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I didn't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe that was ever. I think it was easy for him to say. Maybe it was like something to say in an interview, and they liked it. They liked the idea of that. But it never come about, and we can see that he won't play youngsters. He fucking hates them. I don't care what he says. He that's why the Phillips and that signings and the signings that he says McTominay are wet dreams for him, because he loves a proven player. He don't like a gamble. Now, whether you say that McTominay or Maguire is shit, in the Premier League, they're proven. I don't like them, but they're proven in the Premier League. And that's where he'll always go. He'll always go for a proven player rather than a gamble.
Of course he will. But do you think that one of the youth team could have done any worse than Phillips?
No, because I do honestly think, and we've said it, Nick said it and that. We've said it on here plenty of times, and people in the chat. Dan's could have done that job. I'm not saying he was going to be a world beater, but he could have done that job. He could have done the cover for Alvarez nicely, but he didn't. He wanted proven players, because Dan's wasn't proven in the Premier League. It's like we say with Kudus. He knows that Kudus wasn't a proven Premier League player. Kudus played his way into being undroppable for Moyes.
Yeah, he did. He did. I mean? He made it. Everyone could suddenly see. He did. 8 games it took for him to get a start. Right. He was here for 8 games after scoring a hat-trick in the Champions League. So he wouldn't have played that winger. You're right. He wouldn't have played him. He wouldn't have played any of the players that Steiten forced on him. That's why he said about Alvarez last week. He alluded to the fact that they play similar positions, all that sort of stuff. He's still resentful that Alvarez plays because he knows he's a Steiten signing. Dinos, the first one, as soon as Agüero's ready, Dinos, he's dropped. Not saying that's a wrong decision. It's the right one, probably. But, he will take the first opportunity. It would not surprise me if we're going to slide that he blames Kudus, Antonio gets fit, Antonio gets back in the side. You heard it here first.
Well, let's see, and I hope not. But like I said, any player, Moyes is in charge, any overseas player that comes in, if you like, who's not Premier League ready, it's always, and it's going to be, because it has been the same excuse for years, he's not ready yet. He's going to take time to get ready. He's going to take time to get ready. But then you see, and don't get me wrong, there is certain players, but it happens with every fucking player we get that hasn't played in the Premier League before. But yet he can get a player, this is in Phillips, who hasn't played for 18 months, who is injury prone, go straight in the squad because he's got Premier League experience, if you like. It means fuck all. There's so many players that ain't got Premier League experience who come in and light the fucker up, like Kudus. let's have that.
Souček and Soufal. He bought them straight in the team. They've been in there ever since, right?
Yeah, and they've been there since, unfortunately. But that first 6 months of theirs, they was, you've got to give it to Souček there. He got him right out the shit. And he
did, yeah. No, he was great.
He was a really good player. He was a great player for us, but he's just, he ain't there. We've moved on.
I do think as well, I do think players will leave on mass. I do think if Stein goes and Moyes stays, I think next season we do lose Kudus, we do lose Bowen. Paqueta, I can't wait to get out of here, but he's kind of held in this sort of never land at the moment, and where he's got this thing hanging over his head, and it's going to be a while till it's cleared up, if it's ever cleared up, right? So yeah, I think it will be all of the kids, the decent kids, will want out as well because they're not going to get any game time at all. They're going to be playing in the under 21s until they're 24. It's just not. It's not good. It's not good at all.
Chrissy, as far as we know, that Moyes as the last option, as far as we know. So if he says no to a player, he said no, we can't sign him, even if that's what I'm on the understanding of. If he says no, then it's a definite no, unless he's overridden by Sullivan. But as far as I know, he's got that veto, hasn't he, for that.
He has, because that's what his contract says at the moment. Don't forget, he's under his current contract at the moment. His current contract says he's got the veto, and that he reports to Sullivan. We assume that the new contract, if he was offered one, would be reporting to Stuyton, but that could be all academic now if Stuyton goes, right? And so I did fear this at the start of the window. There's this thing shot into my mind, right? And again, it was about Sullivan. He knows that as soon as I think if Sullivan does this, then my theory is as soon as Stuyton bought in Kudus and Alvarez and Dinos, and then Sullivan realised how good and how much money he was going to make on those players, because he'll make a fortune on both Alvarez and Kudus.
Yep.
I think Sullivan, in his narrow-minded, short-term way, would have looked at that and said, well, he's done what I bought him here for. I'm finished with you now. And that is exactly the way he treated him in the January transfer window. Like, stop spending my money. I've got my mate back now. We can go and buy some other. Thank you very much for that profit you're going to make me. That's what I think. That's the way I think Sullivan's mind is working.
I like to think. Sorry,
I think he uses people.
Yeah. No, yes, he said no a lot of times, mate. He said no a good few times. But I get that. I just like to think that. I'm hoping, shall I say, that there's a bigger picture at play. And I do hope that there's a bigger picture in play of why there's a reason why we let these players go without getting anyone in to replace them. As such, I'm hoping. Have I got the faith in that'll happen? No, because now I'm genuinely starting to believe that Moyes will be offered that contract. Whether it's a contract that he's going to be willing to sign or not, I still think that he will be offered.
Yeah, no, I do too. Look, anyway, I think let's call it a night, Mickey. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody in the chat. It's been busy, isn't it? It's been busy. You've really
it's flown by. Like we've it has flown by again. I think that when the shows like that, obviously there was a lot to talk about. And,
there was.
And we have done. But again, the chat's been great as always. Always great, different opinions and supporting. So thanks, people. Hit the like button. And let's go close it out in, Gal.
There's no games this week, is there? There's no games. It's Sunday, isn't it now?
The next game, Arsenal, isn't it?
It's Sunday, isn't it? Next Sunday, 2:00 or something. So there'll be a few rambles this week, I would imagine. I'm going to try and do, until that contract's something that I'll carry on anyway, right? I've got to do episode 3. I kind of know what I'm going to do now, but I meant to do it over the weekend, didn't do it. So I'll try and get some time to work on that this week. Moyes out episode 3. Let you know if that's all out. And a few rambles. Hopefully, there'll be some news, and the news will be news that we want rather than news that we hate. Either way, we'll get on here and discuss it. So look, have a good week, everybody. See you soon. Come on, you ones. Mickey, I've now got to find the thingy before we go anywhere. I've got to
Well,
find
you
the
leave me
outro.
standing here for 5 minutes.
Usually what happens is I'll say "Come on your irons." Nick kicks off the outro. You know, you should be on outro duty. Here we go. I found it. Night all.
Go your ways.